All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There's a good sign there. Please turn off your phones. I tend to do it and then forget to turn it on for another day. So, all right. Welcome to the Village of Royal Palm Beach Special Magistrate Hearing for Wednesday, December 11th, 2019. As I'd like to say, if you have a code enforcement issue, you are in the right place. My name's Doug McGibbon. I'm the Special Magistrate. First thing I'm going to do is swear everyone in, and I'll probably end up doing this once or twice as strays come in. Please raise your right hand. Say, I do, and we're done. Does everyone swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, tell a little one, that was her left hand. All right, most of the cases we're going to deal with tonight are going to be fine assessment or violation hearings. When you hear your name called, you're going to go up to the other podium. You're going to identify yourself. The code enforcement officer will walk over, show you some files, usually some documents and some pictures, ask if you object or not, and they'll present their case. You get to present yours when they're done. You can give me whatever documents or pictures or whatever you want. I get to consider them and then come to a decision. That all flips when we get to the fine reduction hearings. We have a couple of pages of those in the back. Those people have already been through a violation hearing and a fine assessment hearing. They're asking for relief, so they get to go first, and the village gets to respond. I think I've covered the highlights. Please take it away, Village of Royal Palm Beach.
Thank you, sir. Amity Barnard, Assistant Village Attorney. We're starting on the fine assessment hearings on page 1, case 19-1144, 156 Sevilla Avenue, James Akins.
Okay.
Gail McLean, Code Enforcement for the Village of Royal Palm Beach. I'd like to enter into evidence the previous order assessing finding violation, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
Okay. All right, how do you have service on this? I mean, he's standing there, so obviously something worked.
I don't have the green card, but he had called.
Okay, so you spoke to him directly?
Yeah.
All right, we'll accept that. All right, please show him some documents.
Can you state your name for the record, sir?
James Akins.
Thank you, sir. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation. Page 2 of that order. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. And Exhibit 3 is photographs of the violation. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you, sir.
All right, admitted without objection. Let me see him again. Okay, so we have a garbage can hanging out in the shade and what looks like siding damage on the side of the house. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So you've seen the photos. Your garbage can's supposed to be screened, which is usually just a piece of lattice from Home Depot / Lowe's / Ace or whatever.
Right.
And then you have the siding issue. And I guess you haven't taken care of it.
So last time I was here, I advised we were securing financing. Financing secured. We have Mark and Sons on board to do repairs. Mark McAllister had actually come to the city to see if he could begin work pre-permit, and he was declined, but permits have been filed for by McAllister and Sons.
All right.
That's correct.
All right, so do we want to give him a little more time since he's filed the permits, or do we not?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
She says that's fine with you, so bounce him to the next meeting. He should have them issued. Once your permits are issued, then you're no longer in code enforcement. You are in the building department.
Right.
And the building department, you'll see, will kick these things back if you haven't done anything in 6 months.
Okay. Well, materials, he's
so-
got all material. He's waiting for
So
permit.
please get your inspections done. A lot of people will, if you're going to go to the point of getting a permit, one of the best things is having someone from the village check up on their work for you for free.
Okay.
Okay, so what are we going to bounce them to?
Well, Special Magistrate, all of the code sections cited are not complied, so the garbage
Okay.
can has not been
Oh,
resolved.
okay, well that, I'll give him
Thank you.
a few, whatever, I'm going to add that to his other real problem, the structure and disrepair, at least that's in mind.
Apply for it on the second.
Yeah, just get a piece of lattice and
Okay.
put it up in front of there. I have mine right behind my garage, or my fence.
All right.
Yeah, some sort of fencing to block it. Okay, and here's a word for everyone in the audience. he can go home and do this tonight if he wants to go run by Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever and put it up, and he can think he's done, and he's not, because he hasn't called code enforcement. If you look at my two-page order, most of the violation orders, there's only one sentence in bold that says, upon completion, call code enforcement so they can verify that you've done it, because that tells them that you've done it in time. So that's for everyone in the room. If you have a violation, you want an affidavit of compliance from the code enforcement officers, and they get that by doing your inspections.
So once my work is complete, I'll call Gail and have her come out, or?
Yeah, especially on the garbage can, and if you could do that first, that would be nice.
Okay.
That way she'll just clear it off quickly, and then we'll be left with a permit being issued. So what's our month? Maybe next month.
On the garbage can, you want 3 days?
Well,
I'll fix it tonight.
what?
It'll be fixed tonight. It'll be out of sight tonight.
Okay, but like I said, they've got to look at it, so you want them to come look at it tomorrow?
Sure. I fly out at 4 a.m., so it'll be in my garage.
Okay, so we'll give them 3 days on the garbage can, and whatever else you're going to give me on the permit being issued.
So that would be comply by 12/13 for the garbage can. And then comply, the next hearing date is January 8th, 2020, so comply by January 6th,
161825.
correct?
All right, so garbage can by 12/12, the structure and disrepair comply by January 6th or appear at the January 8th hearing or face a $25 fine. You'll get an order in the mail. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
All right, one down, a few to go.
Moving to page 2, 19-1474, 221 Bilbao Street, Alan Stromfeld and Laura Batanza. Bless you.
I'd like to enter into evidence the previous order finding violation, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture. I have actual service on that.
Okay. Okay. Please identify yourself for the record.
Antonio Levers,
Pamela Levereth,
And your relation to the property?
tenant.
tenants.
Do you have anything in writing from the property owner authorizing you to speak tonight?
We don't have anything in
We
writing
don't-
about violations.
We were just notified about these a week ago.
Okay, it's because they go to the property owner. Special magistrate, are you going to allow their testimony?
I'm going to allow them to testify, but they're going to have to identify themselves again because I don't know how to spell.
Antonio Levers,
Would you spell your last name, Antonio?
Livres.
Your name again?
Pamela Levereth,
Spell your first name?
Kamalla.
Thank you. These are the exhibits of which would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. 3 is
Kamalla.
photographs of the violations.
She just dropped out of residential race.
What was the violation with the boat?
Location and screening.
That's not our property.
Is this your property?
That is.
Any objection to these documents?
What was the first photo? Okay, no.
All right, no, admitted without objection. All right, so we have disabled unregistered vehicle, I guess that's the F-150?
Yes, it is not disabled, as a matter of fact.
It's
Well,
unregistered.
It's unregistered,
The
so.
sticker wasn't on the plate, but
Okay.
it'll be put on. We just moved from Jacksonville. We had no idea with these issues or the rules and regulations. They were never told to us.
Okay, well,
Till about a week and a half ago, when Laura Vitanza brought it up, and we actually went in and read ourselves because she didn't give us any information either.
right.
So the vehicle, the tires have been repaired, and we'll put the sticker on the plate.
Okay. All right, we're gonna get,
I just
The,
want to,
let me stop here for a second. The notices are required by Florida state statute to be sent to the property owner at the tax collector's address.
Okay,
And that's why you probably didn't get a notice. If you did get a notice, it would be a door hanger. It may or may not have blown off. You never know.
He had been spoken to by Dina Foley
Okay.
on the property.
and
And
yeah, somebody did stop by while we were moving in, and she actually told me that the boat was okay, the trailers had to be blocked from view, so that's what we did. As far as I thought we did, but apparently it wasn't.
yeah, I don't know
suffice.
that you can park the boat in the backyard. Is that the problem of it?
It's on the side of the house. However, the trailer that was in the backyard, he has now moved to the other side of the house, and you can't park on both sides of the house.
So I gotta move it
behind.
back to the first side?
And it would have to be behind a fence that's either wood, PVC.
Well, Laura's actually filed for a permit to put up a wood fence for us.
But we've been told that until the violations are clear, it won't be approved. So we
Right.
bought black screening.
the trouble is that the respondent didn't appear at the previous hearing, so we're at fine assessment here. They were given
Right.
time to comply at the previous hearing, they being the property owner. They have not complied, so tonight we're here to ask you to start a fine running,
Right,
because
it's
it's been
gonna
out of
be-
compliance for 13 days.
Right. The problem is, I don't know whether or not their landlord ever told them about the
Yes.
first hearing, and you're saying he did, or she did.
No, we didn't have anything about the first
Well,
hearing.
she's been emailing me all day. She calls me and
I
told me that
have all
she
my
talked to
correspondence
you.
here as well.
Well, the problem is, the code enforcement officers are required to speak to the property owner. And
Right.
they've been in contact with the property owner, and I take it the property owner has not been telling you what to do, which really doesn't matter for you as much, because the property owner is the one who's gonna have the fines levied against their property.
She told us that we were going to be responsible for any fines assessed tonight.
Well, it depends on your lease. Okay?
I wouldn't.
But here's the reality of the situation. If the truck is, just needs a sticker put on it,
Yeah,
and you could, the fine right now is gonna be $325, because it's out 13 days.
No,
So
it's
650.
$650,
$50 day fine.
$50 a day. It's gonna be $650. You can stop it in another day or two by moving some things out and around.
we actually already, what I thought, we moved the trailer to the other side and blocked
Right, well,
it.
they're saying you can only put both trailers on the one side, or you have to, so what's wrong with the trailer?
According to the thing that Laura sent us the other day, it said that we couldn't have stuff stored on it, so we removed the stuff off of it.
Okay, so
Okay, there's a play structure in the backyard that now
we're not
he has.
dealing with that
he
right
has-
now. We're not dealing with that right now. We're just dealing with the trailer. The trailers both have to be on the same side of the house?
The boat and the trailer, right, correct.
Okay, and it's not a restricted trailer if he's removed the items?
No, it is a restricted trailer and it has to be behind a fence.
Well, what if it's behind the boat?
No, that doesn't screen it from view.
It's
Okay.
behind a fence, and the fence is screened. We bought a black screen.
That's not allowed. That black fencing is not allowed.
Well, that's what Laura actually told us to put up, and she,
Your landlord is almost getting in your way.
right. Well, I know for a fact that I met with a fencing contractor out there the other day, and I know that she's working on putting up a vinyl fence, but we were told that he couldn't get the permit until these violations were taken care
And
of.
what's gonna happen is, we're at the point in this process where I have to throw a fine up, because nothing happened after the first hearing. And that's when people could have asked me for more time to do things. You know, that's when other people are applying for permits, because they were at the first hearing. And I don't know that your landlord helped you out by not telling you to show up for the first one. I'm pretty much stuck where I am, having to do a fine tonight. You can stop it in the next day or so. And then you'll get your affidavit of compliance, and then you can get your fence permit.
Okay,
But you've got to get the sticker on the vehicle, the F-150. The restricted trailer has to go where? Behind some fencing, which I can't do because I can't get a
Correct.
permit.
Or put it in the garage.
Or you can put it in the garage for a
it's
few
too
days.
big for the garage, and we
Or if you
don't-
can like just take it somewhere for a little while. Do you know anyone?
we are alone down there.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you could get rid of the trailer for a few days and just call them to clear it, then you can get your permit. And I'm just trying to do things or tell you things to get you past it. The play structure without a permit, I have a huge play structure in my yard, but it's like, 2 stories tall. I had to permit it, so.
Can we ask, because from our information that we were given when we looked at this afterwards, if this play structure is under a certain dollar amount, you do not need a permit. I mean, what they have a photo of is literally just a slide. It is not a swing set. It's part of a set that we didn't put up because
No,
of the
it's a
permit.
play structure by our code.
Okay, it's still a play structure by your code, so,
There's no, I mean, like, we don't know
Like,
what
this is a-
qualifies as a play structure.
Right.
it's almost
little
anything
plastic
you,
house
you
or-
can put in the yard that's not like landscaping.
So a child, like a playhouse, a little plastic playhouse as well needs,
We're getting pretty far into the weeds in terms of compliance. They can work with the code compliance officers to figure out exactly what complies them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get them to a point where they can get into compliance and get their permits so they can stop these fines and do everything else,
Right.
which is what I'm trying.
And they can call me tomorrow and I can meet with them out there and give them the correct information about coming into compliance.
Okay.
Okay, and that's pretty much what we're gonna have to do now is, I'm gonna have to award the fine amount of 650 plus continuing until the fines stop by your compliance. Try to get it done quickly. I mean, if you could, the truck's easy.
Right.
The play structure you can almost take down and put away for a little while and it'd be out of the way.
We did.
we moved.
So that's good. The garbage can, that's
We
pretty
moved that.
simple. And it seems to be getting down to the restricted trailer. And if you can just get that out of the yard for a while or do something, then you can call and clear it. And then you can get the fence put up and put it back.
Okay.
Okay? Talk to your landlord. Maybe they can let you use something of theirs too. I don't know. The fines are gonna go against the landlord's property, so it's kind of in their interest to help you out. All right, 650 plus continuing is granted, and hopefully they'll be done soon.
Is the grass, is that a separate?
Do we have another one?
Yes, the grass is a separate case.
All right, you might as well stick around and we'll pull, who's the grass person? Is that
Me.
another one of you?
That's a violation hearing, so if they could sit back down and we'll get to the violation hearings.
All right, they're running the show. I just sit here and talk.
Thank you. Next case is 19-0371, 1343 Elm Bank Way, Lee and Amy Liang.
Tina Foley, Code Officer for the Village of Royal Palm Beach. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Okay. You have a signed green card, you have service.
Name for the record?
Li Liang.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation.
Yeah,
Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership.
yeah.
And Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violation. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No objection.
Thank you, sir.
All right, admitted without objection. So is there some sort of screening or something on the porch? I have a hard time with that picture.
No, there's the whole,
Structure.
yeah.
Okay.
Into the setback.
This is,
Okay, they say the porch was enclosed without a permit, and it's also in the setback.
Yeah, that, yeah, last time I stated the previous owner put that structure in there, they enclosed it. And when the code department pick up this and they asked me to apply a permit. And then after I went through to get all the stuff ready, then I was told I need to have the variance. And so I was in the process of variance, and the last time when I came in, I was supposed to have the variance meeting on the, I think it's the 17th of October. And right before that variance, Lauren McPherson, I actually emailed her trying to confirm and which day would be the variance. And I also stated, I come to the court and now these things need to be pushed a little bit, hopefully. And then she replied to me and she attached the file on that email. I didn't see it actually, and it's oversight. And they require me to amend 3 items on last submitment. And then, so because all this miscommunication, and then we missed that meeting, and immediately I came in and meet Kevin and Lauren again to have the new file look over. And then they said November has no meeting, and then they put him again in the meeting for December. That's why there was a long-term delay. And this time was scheduled, actually it's tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I have been closely monitoring it, and to this point, looks like everything is in good shape. And but I don't know still the board will approve it or not. And so that enclosure actually, I think is 18 feet to the property line, and the department asked 25 feet. So I just need that a little bit accommodation and that difference to be granted, and then I can go ahead and apply the permit for the enclosure. Yeah, that's at this point where I am, and so.
So what happened with the October meeting?
October meeting is I couldn't submit that. No, they didn't submit that my application because they require amend 3.
Okay, so they wanted you to amend your application and resubmit it?
Yeah, I resubmitted in the following week because I have to make an appointment with Kevin. They cannot just let me come in and send that
So
in.
you went in sometime in October and you resubmitted it? Is that what you're
I
saying?
resubmitted in the red after that week, and then Kevin looked at every page. Lauren also looked at every page, and so that's the situation. Actually, at the beginning, when I submitted, it's the same situation, and Kevin looks over every time, and said this should be in good shape. But then right before, and
All right, well, I've
didn't
heard
realize.
that. Okay, your side now.
He's partially correct. He missed the deadline for resubmittal after his first submittal. He was supposed to make some changes. He missed the deadline for the next TSR, which every
Yeah.
time you miss a deadline bumps you back
Right,
at
right.
least 3 weeks, more than that.
yeah, actually, it's
realistically.
almost
All right,
2
that's enough.
months.
Stop,
Yeah,
stop,
it's
stop.
And
Stop,
then
let
he
them
actually
finish.
was on an agenda that he didn't appear at the meeting.
I think
So now,
that's, okay, that's, I think, is an October thing.
right, he's finally on tomorrow's agenda, but if I may, while he's making progress, these actions on his part have caused more time to pass than what is needed to get through the process,
Understood.
and he's still several months from being totally done, so
Right. My only other question is, though, was there no November meeting that he could go to?
no, there has been TSR, every TSR has happened.
So there was a meeting in November.
There were 2 TSRs in
Okay,
November.
just making sure that there was an opportunity there. I
Oh,
don't
that
care.
November, Lauren said there is no meeting. Probably there is a meeting. They couldn't discuss this or what happened. I don't know.
Okay, well, you've given your side, and they're telling me that there's 2 TSR meetings they had in November. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
hearing
the
your side.
issue is, the one he appeared at, he was told to make revisions and he didn't make them, and so if he doesn't continue to progress, it's never gonna get done,
Well,
so,
but he's set for tomorrow with his revised. Is that right?
right, but then he's still gotta resubmit, go to Planning and Zoning Commission, then go on to council, so if he doesn't make the revisions tomorrow, there's no guarantee he advances in the process, so I would be asking to start a fine. We'll fully support a reduction once he's through the process, but to ensure
Okay.
that he continues to move forward through the process.
All right. So they're saying that they will agree almost or support a reduction in your fine if you make it through the variance process and
Thank
whatever
you.
else you need to get your permit for your enclosed portion of the building. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've been trying to give him more time to get through the process, but
Good.
if he
All right,
doesn't get on
so
the
what I
agenda,
need to do is find him now, so you get that done, and then we will waive the fine once he gets,
he'll have to come to, once he's in compliance,
once he's in
gone fully through
compliance,
the process,
he
can
just
come
has
for
to come back to
mitigation,
another
correct?
meeting and get it waived.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna issue a order finding fine today of 325,
Yes, sir.
325 and continuing. You are going to finish up with your variance request, go on through the rest of the steps,
Okay,
get your things issued, and you'll
Yep.
come back for a fine reduction.
okay,
At that time, they'll support reducing the fine, and I'll reduce it to nothing.
all right,
Okay.
no problem, yeah. I will
All right,
comply.
325 plus continuing is granted.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully, everything will work. Okay?
Thank you.
Next.
Thank you, sir. Next is 19-1137, 120 Sparrow Drive, Parkview at Palm Beach Condominium Association, Inc.
Margaret Hancock, Code Officer for the Village of Royal Palm Beach. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification. I don't think that's in there. It might be.
Okay.
The some biz. And Exhibit 3, pictures.
No, it's not, but it's all right.
I have it in my case file if you need it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. You have service via posting, you can proceed. Please tell us your name for the record.
Dale Mason,
And your relation?
from the property management company, Tallfield Management.
Thank you. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. This is an exhibit, an affidavit of service for the order finding violation. The previous order. Photographs of the violations.
These are dated December 6th.
Correct.
Okay.
Do you have any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
All right, admitted without objection. All right, so we have dead, dying, and missing plants, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, and they're reflected in your photographs?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mason, what's happening out at the Park View at Palm Beach Condominium Association?
The original notice specified trees that were removed without vegetation removal permit. When last we were here, and we understood it to be a tree removal issue. When last we were here, the corrective action was identified as pulling the permit, and you may need to replace the trees. Since that time, we pulled the permit, replaced the trees, and it still hasn't been cleared. Subsequent to this, the arborist or landscape consultant for the village went out and did a site inspection. November 21st, we received a letter of their findings last week. And it outlined sort of missing vegetation, 23 items long, including about 50 trees. The association is going to need to request either a revised landscape plan or pursue some other avenue because that is exorbitant to put in that much plant material on the property. But the association's goal is to comply, and it was their understanding, our understanding, that submitting the permit request and having the vendor put in the trees was compliance.
Okay.
Now, in the site inspector's letter to us, they have given us 60 days to get in contact with them, I would imagine, to discuss the site plan and all of the comments and recommendations they're suggesting. I don't know if you have that.
Yes, I
You got
have what
it.
you said.
Okay. Which is something we can clearly comply with. But given just the magnitude of what's being asked here, I think it's appropriate, and I'm asking, or we're asking, that some reasonable time frame be granted in order to do that. If in fact we have to meet the landscaping plan this is from 2005, and it's the first time, I'm seeing it and they're seeing it, they'll have to do a special assessment, they'll have to raise funds in order to make a landscape plan adjustment of this magnitude.
All right, village?
Yeah, I guess, and we have the letter, but I just want to make clear, you appeared at the previous hearing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and the notice of violation does indicate plants dead, dying, missing.
Mm-hmm.
Trees may need to be replaced to comply with site plan. So that was on the notice of violation itself. So I just want to make clear that the assertion that this last hearing was only about one tree or something is
No,
not
I didn't-
necessarily accurate.
I'm sorry, I didn't
He's
say
saying it
one
was
tree.
trees, plural.
Okay.
And he thought that the corrective action was to replace the trees.
Right.
And now he's got a new letter with new, or he's got a letter with new, or what he contends are new requirements.
Well, I don't know that it's new requirements. It's getting the landscaping up to
the site
approved
plan.
landscape plan. So
Right, but
that-
I'm just trying to do some equity here. If he understood that he was supposed to replace some trees, and now he's been given a list.
No, the notice said
Uh,
may need to be replaced to meet the landscape plan. But regardless, it sounds like additional time is what you
Yeah.
would be seeking. So, my one concern with what he said is going out and getting assessments to cover the cost of those trees. You know, we can give some time, but that may not be a reasonable request.
I don't know, he's, all right, so,
It is a condominium association, and they budget annually for things that they expect. And when something
it's
like,
also, though, it was an approved site plan by the developer
yeah,
who agreed to plan all of these materials and maintain them, and then when the condominium association took it over, they're required to do the same,
absolutely.
maintain them.
Mhm.
So
So
it's
that's-
not like, they're saying you have to do a whole bunch of new stuff. This is just make sure the old stuff's there.
Correct.
So,
And if they have not been maintaining the landscaping, then
and then it needs to be replaced.
and it's a heavier lift now rather than it having been maintained.
Right,
all
and,
along.
yeah.
So,
Not to interrupt, but I don't think a lot of this has even ever been installed in the first place. If you
Well, it
look,
doesn't matter whether it was
No, I understand.
installed in the first place. All
I
that
understand.
matters was.
I'm
that it
just
was
trying
an
to put it in
approved plan.
perspective. Yeah,
You're like the guy who comes and says, the neighbor or the guy who sold me the property had the shed there. Well, and it wasn't permitted. Well, you bought the property with the shed, it's now your problem.
yeah.
You're now the manager of the property without
And I
all
don't think the association has any problem with complying with this site plan, or, if we can get a revision to it, to
Well,
that
no.
site plan.
See,
So-
complying with the site plan and getting it revised are two totally different things. You're telling me that you want a revision, probably to remove a lot of the material that they're asking for, right?
Yes,
Okay, so that's different than
understand.
I'm coming up to code, or I'm coming up to the requirements of the approved landscaping plan.
correct.
All right, so what do you want to do? Tell me what you want to do.
Probably realistically the February
Okay,
hearing. So
Two-
comply by 2/7,
or appear at 2,
12.
or how much?
$5 a day fine was in the previous order.
Okay. You have until February 7th to figure out what you're doing, okay? If you're gonna get some sort of revision, you gotta run that thing through. Otherwise, you need to go start planning plans. And if it's not done by February 7th, on the 12th, I will start a fine running,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
Granted. Next.
19-1195, 226 Sandpiper Avenue, Richard and Joanne Dancero.
The following documents and evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order, finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, AS400 permit information.
All right, you have a signed green card, you have service. Sir, your name is?
Richard Densrow, sir.
Thank you.
These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation. Page 2 of that order, as well as the signed green card. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership.
Everything is in the process.
Okay, we'll get there. Hold on just one second for me. And the final exhibit is the village's ISO 400 permit information. Do you have any objection to these documents?
I don't know what they are.
This is just the permit information showing that,
You applied for a permit on the 2nd, and it was revised on the 3rd.
any objection to the documents? And then you can speak to the magistrate about where you are.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right, admitted without objection. All right, so pavers were installed, permit was applied for, permit was revised, permit will be issued a couple weeks probably.
Probably.
Okay.
It was applied for on 12/2.
It would have got done for, before, but I got my, what do you call that?
Impervious surface calculation.
revise that, yes.
Yeah,
I've got like enough short-term memory to look at that paper and remember. Okay.
well, we did all that.
So, yeah, I see you came in on the 2nd, you had to go revise it, and it was revised on the 3rd.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're at the fine assessment hearing stage, so your previous order was from October. He didn't apply for the permit until
December.
7 days before compliance was required, so
Yeah.
that's impossible almost for him to maintain.
So they're saying that I told you to do this in October, and you didn't apply until December for the permit.
Yeah, because I received the, what do you call that thing there, where they measure your
I have no idea. It's
Survey?
probably,
survey? I had to wait for the survey before to do that,
well,
Oh, he didn't, this one.
because all my paper were all filled up and this and that, but I had to receive the survey. It took about 3 weeks before I received the survey.
I have no record.
And then I brought the survey to the city hall. That's it.
okay, so he's been working on it, but he had to have a delay.
Well, yeah, we're asking for a 2-day fine to start, $50 and continuing till the permit's issued.
Well,
He didn't meet the requirement of your previous order.
I got so many
At the last
permits in here, man. I always apply for permits and permits and permits.
Well, you didn't apply for the paver permit, so
Huh?
that's the problem. We had a job done, and then we had a permit applied for afterwards, and it wasn't done that fast, because I'm talking October, November,
October.
October.
well, October was the meeting,
Nah.
and then he probably got his order, and then he had to wait 3 weeks for the surveyor, but that's not really your fault, that's more of his concern.
This started in August.
Okay.
and it-
I'm gonna have to do the fine, you're gonna have to come back for a fine reduction because of the place where you are in the process.
What's the fine?
Well, the fine is, you were supposed to have this done 2 days ago, correct?
So it's $50 and
So
continuing.
it's $50 and continuing until your permit's issued. And then you'll come back and try to get it reduced because you had to wait around for a survey and other things.
When do I come back?
You'll come back when you get your affidavit of compliance, your permit is issued, and then you can come back to a hearing to get it reduced.
Because they told me as soon as I get the permit to go see the lady, and I won't have to come back.
Well, you haven't gotten the permit yet, though.
No, I know, but once I get the permit,
The permit was supposed to be 2 days ago. See, I'm stuck here between, all these competing interests, and sometimes it's gotta stop, and this is when it's stopping. So this is $50 plus continuing. When you get it in there, talk to her so she can stop the fine. Okay, and then it'll be a small fine, and then we'll work on getting it reduced. You'll tell me the story about the delay for the surveyor. I'll try to remember all that, but you'll
when do I
remind
come
me.
back?
You'll come back after you get the permit issued and you get it cleared.
Oh, I come back at the city hall?
You're gonna come back to
Get the
City Hall,
permit.
get your permit, talk to Margaret so she can stop the fines, and then you'll apply for a fine reduction. It's a 1-sentence deal. And
Yeah.
you'll come back to another hearing sometime next year. Okay?
I don't understand that.
Talk to Margaret when you're done, when we're done. Talk to her tomorrow or the
Tomorrow.
next day.
Call me tomorrow.
Call her, okay? $50 plus continuing is granted.
What's her name?
Margaret,
Margaret?
yes.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Next, please.
Page 3, 19-1543, 1100 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, 7-Eleven, Inc.
Would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, pictures.
You've got all these trash close-ups. This is the convenience store down by Southern Boulevard? No?
No, it's the mobile right here in the Crossroads Plaza.
Okay. Oh, that one, okay. Gotcha. Signed green card equals service.
Musa Raza.
Aaron Banetta.
All right, stop. Stop.
MUSA.
We're going to get their spellings of their names because we need them. Please tell us your name again slowly and spell it for us.
It's Musaraza, MUSARAZA.
Thank you. And your name, sir?
Aaron Vanatta, AronVanatta.
And your relation to the property?
I'm the operator.
Thank you. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order. Green card. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. And Exhibit 3 is the violations. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
We have some objections to
Yes,
it, yeah. We do have some objections
Okay.
to it.
Go ahead.
I'll go over it with the magistrate.
We need to get them on the record now. Do the
I
documents
have the
themselves?
same pictures on my phone because she was supposed to come out that day. I had it done within an hour, the extra stuff, because to me, I mean, we've never been in front of the magistrate. We've never been in front of City Hall, never had an issue, never had a code violation. And
Well, it
I
has
mean,
nothing to do with
we took it,
documents yet.
everything's been
You're into
taken.
your argument, and I don't need your argument yet. I just need to
objecting
get
to
through
the
the
photographs, is that
documents
correct?
first.
well, my
Okay.
objection to the photograph was
It's not the right property, it's not the right time, it's
I
a
have the-
misleading document. Do you have any of those? No?
He has his own photographs, but he's objecting to the photographs.
Admitted over objection. Let's solve that. Okay, when we
Which was
get to your,
dropped off
when we
by
get
the
to your
city.
part, relax, we'll get to there.
Those photos were taken, you were with me when I took those photos on the 5th.
not those ones.
Okay, but you're objecting to my photos. So I'm just saying, those are the same photos that I took when I was with you on the 5th.
Okay.
And I did go back out, he called for a reinspection on the 5th. I complied it as of the 5th.
Everything was completed, correct?
I complied it as of the 5th, after I had gone out there, yes.
You can show them that one.
All right, so we have, when was violation supposed to be cured?
It was supposed to be cured by 11/28.
And it was cured on 12/5.
Correct. So the fine, there's a 6-day lapse there, so the fine amount is $450 and not continuing.
All right, you have some photos you want to show me that show that the property was cleaned up on December 5th?
Yes, it was cleaned up, but this notice went to the owner of the property, 7-Eleven, which is in Dallas, Texas.
Did you hear my little speech about Florida state statutes requires that the address be sent to the property owner at the address, or to the property owner at the address on the tax collector's roll?
Yeah, but we received it on the 27th notice, and then I called up on the 29th, but the offices were closed here in the
Okay,
village
and
because of the holiday.
I
And then
understood,
called-
but,
yeah.
you're
So-
complaining about 7-Eleven getting notice and not telling you.
And I went into the gas station twice and spoke to your, one time it was your clerk that was working there, and another time the gentleman said he was a manager there. So I did speak to them twice about the issue
Yeah,
before writing it.
Yeah, I didn't know about it because the first violation came in and we had corrected all of it. Some certain ones were the address, the 1100 address on the top of the door. You know, you specify what size. I didn't know what size. I was going to the city record, see what size I need to get. So that was the only major obstacle that I was stuck with.
Well,
then-
and the vehicle was still there.
The vehicle was gone.
Not when I brought it to hearing, it wasn't.
I have a picture on my phone from December 5th that it is gone.
On December 5th.
Understood, sir, but the cure date was 11/28. You're telling me it was cured on December 5th. She's telling me it's cured on December 5th. You have photos showing me it's cured on December 5th. No one's questioning that.
Well, my
The
other thing-
questioning is, why wasn't it done on 11/28?
Because, again, we did not receive this. I have
You
the
did not
stamp.
receive notice from the 7-Eleven
I have
people?
the stamp from their law offices and from 7-Eleven that they received it, and I received it on the 28th on my
Understood,
territory
but you're
manager.
trying to tell them that it's their fault that your corporate communications aren't up to speed.
If I'd known earlier, I would have
And if
corrected
you
it
would
right
have known
away.
earlier, you would have cleaned it up earlier, but unfortunately you didn't because your corporate communications aren't up to speed. It's not their fault,
Yeah,
right?
But I called the village on the 29th, but they were closed. And if they came in on 29th and inspected it, and then I called up, I left a message on the 29th.
She's got pictures
Yeah,
from
and then I
December
called again.
5th saying it was, inspected and cleared. It's
But
not the
that
28th.
wasn't the pictures that was other stuff that was not the pictures that we had.
You want to show me those pictures? Please show me the pictures, but
Yes.
you, no?
I have them right here because I was standing right here when I took the pictures. Those were the pictures that the village had dropped off. When she came back for reinspection, that's when she said that she needed these done. Added to it, that's a picture where the car was.
Those are the ones I gave to the manager.
Which we even trimmed the trees around it, and all that got taken care of.
All right, it all got taken care of on 12/5.
Everything was taken care of.
Everything was taken
Yes.
care of on December 5th.
Yes, and as of by December 5th, everything was taken care of.
Right, and we've already established that. Everyone's
On
established
December
that. Question is, it was supposed to be done on 11/28. You didn't do it on 11/28. You called on 11/29. The village offices were closed.
11/20 was Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 11/28 was Thanksgiving, so 29 falls through as
Yeah.
holiday
Yeah,
with
and
it.
understood, but it's, the people at corporate got this order way before that. They could have told you. So,
Well, I received it on the 28th, and then I
you
called
received
on
it from
29th.
okay, all right, there was no compliance between the 28th of November till December 5th. It's a $450 fine.
Correct.
Granted. Okay, it's just late, and you can blame corporate for that, but, can't blame them for it. They did what they were required to by the state statute.
I understand.
Okay. 450, no continuing. All right, next.
And sir, if you could grab your pictures from Linda, please. If we could, the folks who were here early,
Right.
let's jump to them. They're all the way at the end.
Okay, let me go get the case.
All right, so,
The health, safety, welfare case
gotcha.
on page 10.
Uh,
It's case number 19-1709, 221 Bilbao Street, Laura Vatanza and Alan Stromfeld.
Okay. All right. They're back. Okay, 2A. Okay. All right.
Okay, the code section is 1557, health and safety for high grass and weeds. I observed this violation on 11/22/19, mailed a notice of violation and notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back signed. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
Okay. You have a signed green card, so you have service. Show them the document.
Antonio Libras.
Thank you.
Camel levers.
Thank you. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing and the notice of violation.
Where, can we see the dates for the initial? Is that anywhere? Is if there was a missed hearing? That says December, does it not? You said this was related to a missed hearing as well, so when was the initial violation?
No, it's not.
No, this is a whole new one.
Okay.
Not a missed hearing.
Okay.
This is just a different case for the grass.
Yes. Notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership, and Exhibit 3 is photograph of the violation. Any objection to the documents?
Is this the section here that you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, no.
Okay.
Yes and no, but
All right. Admitted without objection. What is the issue here? It kind of looked mowed around the boat.
The grass in the very back is not being maintained.
Okay.
It's on the berm back there between them and Portisol.
Okay. So there's a easement or something behind the fence that they own?
In front of the fence, yeah, on the other
Okay.
side.
All right. Are you supposed to maintain the property, or do they have someone doing it?
the berm has been maintained.
We're maintaining.
We're
the-
maintaining
The lawn.
The berm has been maintained, but there has been an ongoing issue, and supposedly Laura has been trying to get it resolved, but there is a ditch at the bottom of the berm I have tried to mow it several times and gotten my tractor stuck every single time. I can't get it in there because it stays a swampy mess.
Right, and like I've explained to them numerous times, this has been going on with every tenant they've had. They don't maintain that back there. If you have to take a weed eater and cut it, it has to be cut.
I can't even walk in there without sinking up
see.
to my ankles and, my calves and knees.
Well, this is a truly owner-related problem.
I mean, I put a
This,
piece
this,
of plywood.
this is not a tenant thing. This is the owner.
Right,
and
I
the
put a
owner
piece
needs
of
to deal
plywood
with-
down to get the tractor up on the berm to
Yeah,
mow the
they
top
need-
of the berm.
They're the only property there that doesn't mow. Everybody else along that whole berm mows.
Well, it's like I'm saying, it's still not the tenant's issue, really. It's more the owner's issue for not de-swamping or de-mucking the property.
The top is maintained, the whole property is maintained, the ditch and the beginning part of the rise is the only part that we cannot maintain.
Okay, and that's, I'm trying to
Right.
say, that's not really you. That's the owner's fault for not leaving the property in a condition that you can fix it.
Right.
Because you can't go and even weed eat the mud.
No, I sink down to my calves.
Right,
and
so,
even
so that one, but that one, they're gonna ask for a one-time abatement hearing, and then the village is gonna have to deal with the issue of getting in there and.
Yeah, well, somebody has to cut it. It's like 2
Oh, yeah,
feet, 3
yeah.
feet tall.
She's told us that the drain, because it seems like a drainage system, there's a drain at the far side of the property. She's told us that that is city problem.
Well, she's wrong.
Okay.
That's
Because
what I thought.
we've actually been trying to get it taken care of because we have to hose our dogs down almost every day, especially if it rains, because it's so muddy.
And then,
And
the
there's
neighbors
growth
to the
in it.
left they don't maintain theirs either because of the same reason, I would imagine.
Okay. Well, the village is asking for an abatement order to go in there and clean it
Correct.
up, so.
It's printed and ready for your signature.
So this is gonna be tagged against the property owner, this is really not your fault.
Okay.
So when they talk to you about this one, you know, you can tell them to talk to Gail, this has been a problem for prior tenants. They need to do something to demuck that, or stabilize it, or put
We've
rocks
been-
in there, or put sand in there so you can go
Yeah,
through.
I've offered to put rocks in there for Laura. She keeps saying that it's a city issue, and this has been
Well, she
ongoing
needs to
with
talk
us
to an
since-
attorney if she really believes that.
Right.
Because they need to go do title searches and look at surveys and things of that nature, but I'm citing an order that says the village is gonna go try to cut it for you.
And for the record, that order is a one-time abatement, and it allows for the assessment of $286 for
Against
administrative
the
costs and the
property.
mowing, and appearance at the 1/8/20 fine assessment hearing if
Granted.
necessary.
So,
Our,
yeah,
we have our gates locked, so we would be notified by someone so that we can give them access.
you need,
It'll probably be Friday usually, right?
you need to unlock your gate for a couple of days. They're
We
saying,
have dogs, so it's a concern, we have to keep it secure.
understood,
Yeah,
but they
you're
need
gonna
to be
have to
able to
put the
get in.
dogs up.
Right, but making sure the fence is secure, we
Yeah,
need to know.
I'll post the notice on the door when I get it.
Okay.
And in the next several days, Public Works will be coming out.
And you may wanna just call whoever's in Public Works and talk to them and say, here's my phone number, I'll get the dogs in and
Okay.
open the gate for you.
Okay.
Okay, that way, and do yourself a favor, once you do that, say, what's your email address, and say, can confirm it. That way you can say, look, I did this, I told them, and now they're complaining, they never called, but I emailed them. That-
Okay.
Giving you little proof tips there, okay?
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, order signed.
Back to page 3 of the agenda, status/fine assessment hearings, case 19-0964, 132 Sherwood Drive, Evans Pettit.
Like to enter into evidence the previous order, Exhibit 2, affidavit of, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 picture.
Oh, this is the pretty one. All right, signed green card equals service.
Say your name for the record, sir.
Evans Petite.
Thank you. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order granting continuance. Signed green card. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. And Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violation. Any objection to these documents?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, when we last here, you were, I think,
Yeah, I'm still
have-
waiting on the insurance company.
Yeah, didn't you have a lawsuit or something going?
Yeah.
What's the status of that right now? Are they set it for trial, or they?
No, we're just waiting on them to kind of just send out the release paper so we can just know how much money they're gonna give us to fix the roof in the house.
Right, I understand that, but there's no trial date. Your attorney asked for a trial date or something like that? 'Cause
Basically,
the insurance companies like to wait.
attorney's
for a
just waiting on the insurance company. Just basically, they're not responding.
while. That's why you set things for trial.
Yeah,
Because insurance companies like to hold on to every last penny forever.
of course, yeah.
And you have, if you have a trial date staring them down, they have to do something.
Yeah, so last time I talked to him, it says like he's going back to the court, try to force them to
I know.
get back
and
on the
what I was
table.
trying to suggest to you is you get the guy, your attorney, to set it for trial,
Yeah,
instead of just waiting around for an insurance company that's gonna wait around.
okay.
Otherwise, you're stuck here. So, and I don't know if I was forceful enough in that, but, you can't
This is what he gave us.
wait for them to voluntarily pay it, otherwise they would have done it earlier.
Special magistrate, that's the notice of settlement that he provided
Okay.
at the last hearing, which is why the time that was given based on the.
All right, so you had
motion.
a settlement, a notice of settlement dated September 10th, 2019.
Yeah, we're still waiting on them. Yeah, still waiting on the insurance company to act on that. They're still not doing anything.
Well, all right, I'm going to give you this in like no uncertain terms, and the next time you come in here, it's not going to be good, okay? Tell your attorney to go set this for a hearing.
Okay.
Motion to compel settlement. I've done a dozen of them in my lifetime. They said we settled. We have an agreement. You signed something, right? Somebody did. Or somebody did something because it says we have reached a settlement agreement. If they're not complying with the settlement agreement, you have to make them.
Yeah, but still, they're not just doing anything yet.
But
So
you can't make them wait for your attorney and your insurance company forever. And if you don't force them to do something, they're going to wait around for a while, and then you're going to be paying fines.
He's doing everything that he could, but still, it's just waiting on the insurance company. This company is one of the
practicing trial lawyer.
It's the worst companies in the country.
This is just normal for the industry.
Oh.
This is what every insurance company does. They hold off. They don't make payments. They get interest on their money. They try to pay you later. So you're going to go talk to your attorney tomorrow. I'm going to bounce this one more month. And you're going to set a hearing to enforce the settlement agreement. And if you guys don't follow through with it, I'm going to put a fine on the property for the village. You're just not going to sit around and wait, and your attorney's not just going to sit around and wait. He's going to have to do something. He's going to have to earn his money. Okay? If I sat around and waited for other people to do things and didn't set things for trial or didn't force them to comply with settlements, nothing would ever get done. That's the point of having an attorney on your side. If he's going to sit around and wait for, the cows to come home, he may not be the right person.
All right, maybe he's not doing. He's not doing the job.
If he's really, I fight that insurance company. I'm aggressive. Well, do something, dude.
Well, maybe I need another insurance.
All right, next meeting, and that's it.
We asked for compliance by 1:30 or the 2:12 fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine, with the understanding that no more continuances, as you've said.
Yep, and you're going to put in no more continuances into that order. Okay? Talk to your attorney, have him set something. Maybe you'll get them to kick it free, and you can tell us when you're doing something. Otherwise, it's limbo, and they don't need to be in limbo. Okay?
Thank you. 19-124711318 Okeechobee Boulevard, Royal Palm Finance, Inc.
I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, pictures.
Okay. You have a signed green card, you have service.
Thomas Diallo, I'm the attorney for the respondent.
Can you
And
spell your last name?
Daiello, and this is Bill Sawney, he's the representative of the owner.
Bill
Who's the
what?
respondent.
Spell your last name?
SAWNEY.
Thank you.
S-A-W-N-E-Y. Bill.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is
Fine.
the previous order finding violation. Sign a green card. Exhibit 2, proof of ownership. Exhibit 3 is photographs of
S-A-W-N-E-Y.
violations.
Oh, yeah.
Any objection to the documents?
No objection.
All right, admitted without objection. Let me look at those again,
We're,
please.
if I may, oh, go ahead, Dave.
I just want to see that again. Okay.
Say my thing.
So they have repaired the fence and painted it. They've made an attempt at painting the building. Doesn't appear that they pressure cleaned it. Almost looks like it's been primered, but it really needs paint. And they've done some landscape stuff, as you can see. They had planted the trinettes before, but that's not anything that's on their landscape plan. You know, originally this was all weeds, and it was Ixora, I believe, in there. And they removed it and just planted what they wanted in there. And also they had replaced a queen palm, and in one of the photos you can see it just looks like it's broken and laying over. And some of the hedge material, which is correct, the ligustrum up in the front, they planted, it's undersized.
Okay. There's a dead
And that's
tree
where
there.
we are.
Okay. A little overexposed on one of your shots, but that's okay. It's not you. It's the camera. All right. So tell us about this.
We have a tenant. It's the reverse of some of the hearings you've had before, who leases the entire property. We got the notices. We have no doubt that everything that's been described in them, in fact, is true. This tenant has been a tenant for the last, 6, 7 years. We normally don't have a problem with this tenant, all right? But we have to kick his butt sometimes to get him to do things, specifically comply with the village's code enforcement people. But he doesn't. This time he backtracked on us completely. I got a letter here from his attorney, and they're not doing anything. Literally not doing anything. So now we have to jump into the breach. Of course, it's our responsibility. But we have to jump into the breach, get a contractor, which we've done, get an arborist, which we've done, all right, and get in there and get it done. That's all there is to it. Push him to the side, get it done, and then we'll deal with him under our lease later. Okay.
Mr. Duty, the issue still is that I need to get access, and I've been trying to basically get the GC and, the arborist to, work with the, and the asphalt guy to put in the striping and everything else, and he's, shall we say, not being very cooperative. So you understand, and at some point of time, we won't be seeking his cooperation. We'll just go there and start the work and say, look, here's your notice. We're coming in and we're doing it. Sorry it bothers your customers, but he's been a tenant over there for the last 20-odd years. We've owned this property since 2012. So I've personally dealt with him for approximately 7 years. This is the first time where he has got an attorney and said, I'm not doing a thing. Reasons unknown. Till now, we had an ADA issue. He went on and got a building plans made, which was expensive, and got that all engineering services. He's done some major work, like putting up a new roof, getting building ADA compliant. getting the bathrooms ADA compliant. Why this turn around all of a sudden, we don't understand, but the issue still is, as my attorney so ably said, we have to jump in the breach, just need a little time to basically, till the last time when I was here, and I was here, if you remember, the tenant was here with me, seeking what needs to be done, where's the landscape plan, and, 60 more days to get it done. From that time to this time, we got this letter from the attorney saying, I'm not doing anything, sue me.
All right, so when do you
So
plan on?
we're looking for the time. What we need is the time. I mean, we certainly have the wherewithal to get in there and get it done, all right? And we're gonna take care of our issues with our tenant later, but,
We seek a final extension of time for me to basically get everything together, starting with, if I could get the landscaping plan again, so I could get things going. The last time I got everything, I gave it to him to do, and I can't even get that from him.
Okay.
I assure you, we have the resources to get it done, just need to, work with him to say, look, we need to start painting, we need to start doing this, here's a 7-day notice, you're gonna be in our way, we're gonna call the cops. And at that point becomes a civil thing, does he let me enter the property or not? He's the tenant, it just becomes very convoluted at that point, but we need to get there to get there.
All right, so what is the village's position now that they've heard all of this?
We unfortunately gave the time that was requested at the previous hearing, and that has not complied, so it's been out of
Mr. Duty,
compliance.
that time when I was here also, with all due respect to you, was with the tenants asking for the time for him to do the work. The turnaround, we have the letter from his attorney, if you want to just give it to them so they know that it just happened about a week ago. Until then, we were told he's doing the work.
yeah,
Just take a look at the date of the letter, what came in.
Yeah, this was the letter that was sent to me. Basically, the lease
Dated November 26th.
says, we don't really have that much to do under this lease. It's all the landlord's issue. And he talks about the trees. And we thought, well, okay, he's gonna do everything else. And I talked to, Linda.
You gotta go back to your microphone.
Yeah.
Here.
Linda Walker and told me that essentially nothing was done.
So nobody checked the property? You didn't go out to the property to see if your tenant was completing the work that he had asked the time for?
No, ma'am, because as I said, he's been a tenant for long enough, and we basically have always had him compliant. This is the first time, when he came in the last time when I was here in front of you, Mr. And he said, yeah, I'll take care of all this. And from there to having this attorney letter come in on November 26th saying, not my responsibility. I mean, I thought he'd be here today. Unfortunately, he's, just,
And did you call the village when you got this letter?
my attorney did.
Yeah, I spoke to Linda
This week, yeah.
today.
But not when you got the letter, I
When
guess.
we got the letter also, somebody spoke about, from my office.
I went online. I went online, I looked at the lookup and
All right, so I've already granted one extension here.
I just need one final
And-
extension, Your Honor.
And, it's not the village's fault that there's a problem between the landlord and the tenant.
Of course
So
not.
what's the village want?
I'm just asking for just the final time so I
position's
can get
unchanged.
somebody, and I have everybody ready to move on to this thing.
All right, well, it sounds like you're gonna get a fine and you're gonna get to come back in for a fine reduction based upon your problems with the tenant. Because I've already given a 60-day extension. If there was substantial work done during that time, I probably would have done more.
Well,
I
mean,
see the
They did
letter.
paint the building,
I
they did paint the
understand,
fence,
sir,
they
but
did paint they posted the wrong things on the landscaping, because as per them, what's available on the landscape plan is not feasible, cost-wise. They have done some work, might not be to your satisfaction, but again, I'm sure you heard from the core officer that the paint, although is not to your satisfaction, but they did paint the building. I was there when they did that. I did check on the potholes, and if you look at the pictures, they did do some of the potholes. There might be some new ones after that. They did paint the fence. I think that's been acknowledged. They did clear out all the weeds and put in some landscaping in there. Again, not to the right code and prescription that is advised by the thing. They've done some work, but again, I don't think it's to satisfaction. That's where this contest with the attorney started where we're not responsible for anything. Now, I'm willing to take
See,
responsibility.
right now, you want more time,
How
their
about 30
time.
days, Your Honor, to get things going, and that time we'll see a major difference. I just need the time to get things started. We're not looking for a lot of time here either.
What are you looking for? Because it's
I would
already
say-
been delayed 60 days.
How about 30 days, Your Honor? I'll get things going right away.
Well,
What?
I'll say 45.
45 would be.
Well, see, we're not negotiating anymore because
Not negotiating, the
we're
30
not
days.
negotiating, and I'm almost here just to fine you because I've already done it once and you didn't follow through. And
Your Honor.
you know, I just can't sit there and say
Your-
they are not entitled to this because you're having a problem with your tenant.
Your Honor, may I, again, you're absolutely right. What you're saying makes perfect sense. My submission to you is that I was given that, it will be done.
I understand it will be done, but
And the person was with me who said it will be done. This came in November 26th.
and you should have called someone that day.
I did, sir. I called them.
well, call them.
The letter's
All
dated
right,
November
stop, we're
26th.
done. What do we want? What do you want? Do you want the fine?
Yeah, we're asking for the fine. It would be a different scenario if they were here and several of these issues had dropped off since 2 months ago. We're here and they're asking for more time with no guarantee that the things are gonna be done.
Well, I
So-
guarantee it'll be done. I'm representing the landlord, and I guarantee you that now that we
Well,
know.
you'll be back for a fine reduction hearing, and you'll explain all this to me, but sometimes things have to stop. And I already granted one extension, and I'm not gonna grant another because,
My
everyone
concern
gets
is,
their.
he indicated that he might have access issues, so if we do
It could take
agree to
longer. You
additional
might have to
time, then there's
do,
there's no resolution there either.
But
you know,
that's exactly
what's
what
the
I've been.
amount?
$100 and continuing.
$100 plus continuing is granted. Just something's got to stop, and it's not their fault. So, granted, $100 plus continuing.
$100,
Thank you. Moving to the repeat violations, staying on the same page, 19-1654, 126 La Mancha Avenue, Jorge L. and Dalen, and Jorge L. Jr. Naranjo.
Code sections are 2317 and 2318 B2. This is a repeat violation for parking over the sidewalk and restricted trailer not parked to code. I observed this violation on 11/15/19. Mailed the notice of violation and notice of hearing certified. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, Exhibit 2, previous order finding violation, Exhibit 3, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 4, picture, and Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Okay, you have a signed green card, you have service.
Jalen Medina.
And your relation?
Jorge Luis Naranjo Jr., I'm his fiance.
Okay. Thank you. These are the exhibits that would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing, notice of violation, and green card.
Mm-hmm.
Exhibit 2 is the previous order finding violation. Exhibit 3 is proof of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
And Exhibit 4 is photographs of the violation.
One, okay, never mind.
And Exhibit 5 is affidavit of compliance.
Let me see that one picture. The very the fifth.
Any objection to these documents?
No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what was your name again?
Jane Lynn Medina.
Jane Lynn. All right, usually I ask people how to spell their last names, but you get to tell me how to spell your first name.
Janelynn. It's all together.
Oh. I would have got it, but I would have spaced them out and separated them.
Everybody
All right.
does, it's okay.
So I have a Kaylin as a daughter. Then I have a Kyla too, which pissed the other one off. Okay. They don't like it when you call them too close to the same thing. Okay. All right, so was this a couple days?
It was actually out of compliance for 21 days.
Oh, ouch.
So we're asking for a fine of $1,050 and not continuing.
So they're saying it was out for 21 days and the people couldn't handle their parking where they're supposed to, and they've got proof of it, and what's your response?
I have a question, because we received it last week in the mail.
It is dated 11/15, which is the same thing she showed. We received this in the mail last week. It's, obviously it wasn't mailed to the property, it was forwarded to where we're currently living. The tenants that are currently living there, they had said it was the trailer, referring to the trailer was out for a couple days because somebody was moving out, a roommate that they had, and that's the reason why it was out. I told them regardless it was unacceptable. They needed to keep it out of sight. That's something that's been repetitively told to them many times, and everything communication with them is through text message. They don't like really talking, but I do have proof of that conversation with them. And they sent me pictures, which was November 26th, showing proof that there was nobody parked over. November 26th, yes, nobody was parked over the sidewalk. However, that's only one day.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's only one day.
I understand.
And they've actually gone out there and said it was stopped.
Correct.
Yeah, they assured me.
Otherwise, it would have been, this would be continuing on and on and on
Correct.
until someone came out. So, I'm in a repeat violation situation. There's really nothing I can do here other than issue a fine. Is that right? Pretty much.
Yeah, you have the photographic proof of the violations, the repeat violations, and as you say, they complied on 12/6, but that doesn't negate the 21 days that it was out of compliance.
Yeah, and they've got to, if they're out for a day, they've got to call in and say, we're off the sidewalks and we've got the trailer taken care of, and no one ever did.
Yeah, it's only one day.
So it's $1,050, and it's not going to continue, but you got to deal with those people because it's just going to be
And
another problem.
no, they've already been very well made aware of that.
Okay.
Everything needs to stop.
All right.
How does that go about arranging to pay that? Is that one-time payment, or can we do a payment arrangement?
It's a one-time payment, just sort of segregated off to the side, and pay it when you get it collected up.
And how long do we have to pay for that?
It doesn't have a date, it just sits until you pay it.
Yeah, as long as they're not foreclosing on you, it can sit there.
No,
for
the house is
years.
not foreclosed at all.
No, as long as the village is not foreclosing on you, they can foreclose a lien.
Oh,
I've only seen them done a couple over 10 years.
Oh, no.
It's not a real a real thing they do,
Mhm.
so it'll probably sit there for months and months.
No, we don't want this to sit. We didn't want it to get here. That's why we
I know, I'm
was a
saying
constant fight with them.
The fine can sit for months and months until you get the money saved up.
Well, it's their responsibility, and they're completely aware of it. It's just the fact
Yeah,
that
but
it's something
then-
against the house that we didn't want, but
Yeah,
it's
but
understandable.
Collecting it'll be the interesting part, so, All right, 1,050, no continuing, granted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Moving now to violation hearings on top of page 5, 19-1502, 221 Las Palmas Street, Haroon or Haroon T. and Jacqueline L. Neal.
Code section is 6190A. The description is the structure is stained. I observed this violation on 10/17/19. Got the green card back signed but not dated. Like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
Okay, you have a signed green card, you have the service. Please give us your name for the record. Your name?
I'm sorry, I was looking at the time. It's Jacqueline L. Nil. It's Jac.
Oh, no, we have your name on the,
Thank you.
you're on the agenda. We don't have to worry about you.
Oh, okay.
JAC, well, we have JAQU.
QUE. JACQUELINE.
Oh,
These are the exhibits that the village would like.
You're missing a C.
evidence.
Yes.
Hold on.
Appraiser.
This is.
Yeah, but this is the same documents you received. This is the
Right.
notice of hearing, the notice of violation, and the
Yes.
signed green card. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership,
Okay.
and Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violation. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, this is where I get to give people time, so. We're looking at what, the side of the house basically is the problem?
Yes, they need to paint
That one side especially?
the whole house. They're going to paint the whole house.
Oh, okay, are you gonna paint that?
We don't mind painting the whole house.
All right, well, how much time do you need?
I really was trying to get it done before this hearing, but then we found some fascia board was rotten. We had those replaced.
You're gonna say like about 30 to 60 days?
Okay, that sounds good.
We're asking for compliance by 1:30 or the
1:30,
2:12.
so that gives you.
1:30, and there's no fines or costs
No.
attached to that date.
1:30, or what's the 2 hearing?
And then I'll call Gail and let her know. Okay, that's.
Thank you, someone
$25
listen.
fine.
All right, so as soon as you get it painted, while the paint is drying, call Gail.
Okay.
And she'll
I'm
get you
sorry
your-
about that. My sister-in-law lives there and we didn't know about it until we received this.
That's why they send it to the owner.
Yeah. So,
See, that's
but
why they sort
I
of
should
think.
charge her for the time I had to come and sit here.
Yeah, that'll be really good for Christmas
Yeah, I
holidays together. Fortunately, you're past the Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Next, please.
Next is 19-1510, 122 Galliano Street, Woodrow, Charles.
Code section is 622-108.4, structure without a permit. I observed this violation on 10/21/19, mailed a notice of hearing, a notice of violation certified, and got the green card back. Like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
All right, what is the structure on the picture?
It's a roof structure on the back of his house.
Okay. Signed green card equals service. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Woodrow Charles.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is a notice of hearing, the violation, signed green card. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. And Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violation. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
All right, admit without objection. So he needs to get this permitted, basically?
If he can get it permitted.
Permitted or
yeah.
removed, one of the two, I guess. Okay.
Yes, I'm working on it. So I needed a signed and sealed plan, which I have now. I've been paid for it, but unfortunately the architect mom's passed. So it took a few weeks. So he finally have it. I hired a contractor. Unfortunately, he didn't have any license. So he ran away with my money. And I came to the city, they checked for me. The company wasn't registered. He wasn't registered to Palm Beach County, neither Oil Palm Beach. And I had to file a police report because even some stuff that I bought, he stole them and returned them. So I have to be careful now to hire another contractor. I found a second one. I gave him half of the money to come and give me an estimate. Unfortunately, when I came to the city again, they say it's not registered. And they are all contracted at making money in the city, at making money all over. So now I have another company. So I'm just trying to be careful and do things. So they're giving me an estimate by Friday. So I'm just waiting on them to give everything and try to get this permit and get the job done.
Okay. What do you
Again,
want to do?
We're again asking for compliance by 1:30 or the 2:12 fine hearing, or $25
End of January
day
will
fine.
be enough?
Can you say that again,
End of
please?
January will be enough time?
Actually, we are in holiday season, so I know
Okay,
it's
he's-
gonna take a little longer. If I can have like 60 to 90 days, that would be
I'll do the
great.
60. I'll do. Yeah, what's the March hearing date? We'll back it from there. 3 what?
March 11th,
Okay, so 2, what do you want? 228?
228.
Is that our actual weekday?
Yes.
All right. 228, 311.25.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Happy holidays.
Same
Next.
here.
Next page, page 7, in fact, 19-1434, 123 Puffin Court, Philip T. and Barbara E.K. Alber.
Code section was 06190A1, the structure was stained. I observed this violation on 10/1/19, sent out notice of violation, notice for hearing on 10/2/19. I received the green card on 10/11/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Are you Philip Alber?
Yes, I am.
And you fixed it?
Yes, completely done.
You're going to get something called a finding of fact, right? I believe that's
Finding
it.
of fact?
That's what we're seeking. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Don't confuse me with legal stuff.
Yeah, it's just a title. It just says you did it and you're fixed. So
well said. Yes.
But she has to get through some stuff or we won't be
Okay.
happy.
There are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing, the notice of violation,
Mhm.
and the signed green card.
Okay.
Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership from the property appraiser website.
Mm-hmm.
And Exhibit 3 is photographs.
Oh, well, this-
A
yeah.
photograph of the violation. Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents?
Affidavit of compliance. Oh, this is where
Compliance, that
Margaret
shows that-
looked at it and
yes, that
saw
shows
it.
that you're
Okay,
in
yeah.
compliance.
No, I have
No
no
objection.
objections.
That is the mythical affidavit of compliance that everyone wants in their file when they're in a code case. And you're gonna get a finding of fact which says you fixed it, but you didn't fix it in time.
Correct.
I did talk to her, you remember?
No,
Yeah.
you fixed it, but you didn't fix it in time, but there's no fine.
Okay.
Now it's all done.
And don't get caught for this for 5 years. So hopefully your paint job works.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Now to page 8, 19-1678. We lost them.
Okay.
Southern Boulevard Villas, Southern Boulevard Villas LLC.
Going once?
Yep.
I don't know. Someone signed in for him?
Yeah, somebody signed in for it.
Who's talking to Linda? Is this your case, Linda?
We're
Or
on
is
your
it someone
case.
else? Southern Boulevard Villas LLC. We thought we had someone signed in for the other side.
Page 8, case 19-1678, Southern Boulevard Villas, Southern Boulevard Villas LLC. Anyone here for that case?
Going once? No?
Yeah, that's, no, it's not. We're calling the property owner,
Okay.
So moving now to fine mitigation hearing, same page, 18-917, entrance to Fairfax Village, Madison Green HOA.
Is that all the back row? Yeah. Woohoo! Who's gonna talk?
Very popular, very popular. Good evening. My name is Paula Mara. I'm with Rosenbaum PLLC.
Paula, spell your last name.
Mara, M-A-R-R-A. I always like to joke, it's not M-A-R-A. I don't own the Giants or I wouldn't be here. If you're a football fan, you guys get that.
Yeah, not a Giants fan.
Me neither.
Okay.
And
So-
give us 1 second, ma'am, to get the evidence on the record.
Thank you, of course.
Go ahead.
I'd like to enter into evidence Exhibit 1, the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. All right, this is the part of our program where things flip, so I gotta tell you, I golf at Madison Green. I was watching them put the pavers in.
So actually, the situation derives from this. We're here presenting ourselves actually for the first time. In October of 2018, there was a hearing to levy the fine for pavers that were put in a certain section of Madison Green that abuts a sub-association of Fairfax. And it's the street that actually was deeded over to Fairfax in 2017. And the parcel number listed on the order indicates, and I'm just going to give you the last 6, 018 0010. That's pursuant to the order assessing the fine. And I don't know if you have a copy of that, but if you need a copy, I have a copy here. So the order assessing the fine and the notices that went with respect to the fine for these pavers went to Madison Green Master Association. However, at the time that that fine was assessed, Madison Green Master Association did not own that parcel. That parcel was owned by Fairfax. And that was pursuant to a July 2017 deed, deeding it from Minto to Fairfax. I think the problem arises on both sides, perhaps, with respect to how this happened, was if you look at the property appraisers, and I know according to 162.12, we're looking at the tax collector's address, correct? But because this is a community association, HOA, oftentimes that parcel number and those parcel numbers are not listed on that website. So I don't know, and I can't speak for the village as to whether or not they looked at PAPA But on Papa, the parcel number changed sometime last year when it actually registered the transfer from Fairfax to Madison Green Master Association. I don't think it's relevant here with respect to the fact, but if it is, I can let you know the facts behind Madison Green receiving a notice, sending it over to Fairfax, saying, obviously this isn't our property. Clearly, surely you obtained the permits. And then that's why, as a result, nobody attended this last October 2018 hearing to address it at that time. The reason we're addressing it today is because Madison Green now has a lien against the property for this particular enforcement. And when it's preparing its estoppels for sales, it has to address that lien. So within a matter of, say, 8 weeks ago, it got brought to their attention, what is this lien? Why do we have this lien? We don't own this property. And again, that's why we're here today at this particular stage of the process to object to the fine overall and object essentially because the initial notices were not sent to the proper property owner. And that proper property owner, as of July 2017, was Fairfax and not Madison Green.
And my contention will be that somebody didn't record something somewhere along the way, because we have the property appraiser printouts from that hearing in 2018 showing exactly the opposite of what you just said. So,
and I do have that deed, and unfortunately I didn't print out for you today because I didn't print that out, but I didn't print out that screenshot of Papa where it says when you go and enter and say I acknowledge that you cannot rely upon this information because it may be delayed. And in my experience, it's more delayed with respect to HOAs on this particular type of conveyance because it's also tied to a street agreement that the village signed off on. So I actually have a street agreement that the village signed off on acknowledging that that particular area is going to be deeded to Fairfax, which I think is problematic for the village. But however, I'll give credence to the fact that we always have to use our processes, but you cannot rely upon Papa. And it says that on its screen. It says it. So in an abundance of caution, if you're going to rely upon Papa, like I do from time to time, if I'm going to sue someone, I run a title search because I want to make sure I'm not standing there at motion for summary judgment and I have a problem. And I think that's the essence here. I have a quitclaim deed recorded in the public records, July 2017, deeding it to Fairfax. And if you'd like me to provide that to you, I can do that. And I also have the street agreement signed by the mayor.
well, and just so we're clear, that agreement says that properties will be deeded, but we don't control necessarily when that happens and when documents are recorded, so.
But you do have to follow state statute when you're noticing an owner to find that owner.
Correct.
And to Madison Green's position, they shouldn't be responsible for a fine for a property they don't own. And for Fairfax's position, even though I don't represent them tonight, how would you find someone when they have not been afforded due process?
And I will say that state statute requires we send notice to those entities listed on the property appraiser and the tax collector websites.
Actually, it just says tax collector.
Correct, but we do this all the time. These things would have been decided at the fine assessment hearing, which the magistrate reviewed at that time. I can provide them to you again to look at, but our position
For which you did not give notice to the party.
We did give notice to the party.
What party?
I just said we have.
The property owner?
Correct.
The property owner is who? And if I may approach, I'll give you the quitclaim deed.
Sure.
And again, I think it's interesting. Wait, I'll go back to the mic. Sorry. It is interesting when I was doing my research to determine the fact that the parcel owner, or pardon me, the parcel number, I pulled it up on Papa. Now, if it never existed, it wouldn't have given me any information. But because it did exist at one time, it gave me blank information. So again, it goes to the fact that if you're using Papa and relying upon Papa, that parcel number changed once Papa recognized the deed conveyance, the quitclaim deed, and also, again, the agreement to change that road ownership from Madison Green to Fairfax, which is not an easy thing to do. because you actually have to have the village sign off on that. It's not just something that I do between my association entities. I have to come before city council, and city council has to agree that the plat as written is going to be modified to some extent. And again, the mayor signs off on that by virtue of a city council hearing. So I think it's very important to note that unfortunately, the village just didn't send it to the right party. And again, we're here today because my client, upon receiving those notices, rightfully assumed that this isn't our problem. Surely they have it wrong. Now, should they have contacted me last October? Correct. But the obligation is the village to get it right and to notice it correctly, not the improper property owner or the property owner who's not that. And if you need a copy of that assignment of the streets, I have that as well.
I would just like to say that on the day that I saw the contractor putting in the pavers and notified him that he did not have a permit, he told me he was authorized and had a contract with Fairfax Village.
Well, I guess that's kind of a highlight to you that maybe you had the wrong property owner. The property owner at the time that you noticed the violation was Fairfax, not Madison Green.
All of the documents were looked at by our attorney.
And they're all to Madison Green HOA, which is what the property appraiser printed out before you showed.
Yeah, but now that you've been presented with documentation that the property owner was not the property owner at the time,
Right, she's here for fine mitigation, so what is her request?
her request is probably going to be to mitigate it down to zero because it's the wrong entity.
My request is mitigated down to zero and due process for the property owner if they're still in violation, which they're not.
Okay, so they're throwing Fairfax under the bus. Fairfax ain't showing up. So
There is no more violation occurring, to my understanding. So if the violation process had to start over, which I think it would have to, I don't represent Fairfax. I represent Madison Green, so we're requesting, of course, that due process is held today and that it's not the property owner.
right.
Is this our copy to keep?
Of course, yeah. And if you need the street agreement, I have that as well, if you'd like a copy. And I also have a copy of what I've printed out with those parcel numbers, which that's outside of my knowledge of how those were reassigned. But again, I wish I would have printed off that when you click on the property, the PAPA website, you click acknowledging that that information is not reliable.
Right, and I understand that, and they get to rely on it for the purposes of our notice, but when it comes down to someone coming in and saying, by the way, you didn't get the right deed because Papa didn't pick it up in time and it wasn't really us, we didn't own it at the time of the violation, that's a problem.
All those things could have been addressed at the very first hearing.
Understood, but, you know, you still have the wrong entity all the way through after this has gone through.
I stand by that. The property appraiser website also says that transfers of land are typically reflected in 4 to 6 weeks. So I can't explain why after a year of recording the deed,
Because this is an HOA and it's a pain in the butt and no one understands them. And those stupid common areas.
Yeah, and I do believe also, even with respect to the parcel control number switching, and again, I give credence to what you guys do every day, by far. But again, I caution anyone to use that PAPA. It's been used against me, and I've used it against other people.
All right, I'm just saying, it doesn't matter, they get to rely on it, normally there's no changes, but when you're faced with a set of deed, or a deed that shows it up, and then you also are coupled with the fact that someone in the contractor's office said this was the Fairfax Owners Association, that creates another issue.
Do you have any documentation that links this deed to that parcel control number?
I do. Again, I have the parcel control number. Do you need a copy as well? It just references, again, the parcel control number changed, which is interesting. But here's that. But the deed is the deed. The record title owner is the record title owner. And 162.12 indicates you're supposed to use the tax collector's office then my recommendation is to get the right owner, and using PAPA is not the method to do so.
Okay,
And the
well,
statute doesn't
Don't beat the
provide that.
horse. Don't, you're already been, you've already repeated this once or twice. And
understand.
it's starting to get a little condescending, so we may want to stop.
Gotcha.
I don't have anything further. There's nothing I can
All right, well,
present that contradicts the deed.
Right, based upon the legal argument presented by Madison Green Master HOA, they were not the property owner at the time that notice was required to be given. The notice was not given to the proper entity. Not much I can do other than reduce the fine to 0 and let you start over again with Fairfax. I mean, pretty much, right?
Right.
Otherwise, we get sued.
Well, we
It is
don't
just a
want
silly
that.
suit
It's the
because-
holiday season. Nobody
Well,
wants
no,
that.
it's a silly suit too, because it's gonna get granted on summary. Some judge is gonna look at this and go, no. You know, it comes to the point of, yes, they should have. You people should have contacted your attorney and said, not our problem, and oh, look, fines are running, why are we getting these? So, the only reason you're doing this is because someone recorded a deed, and it's a problematic issue. Otherwise, I'd be happy to tag you.
Right. And it was never my intention to be condescending. I just had that
Yes,
held against me for PAPA, using
You've already
PAPA.
said that?
I learned my lesson the wrong way.
Yeah, and you said that twice or 3 times too now, so, you know, you're backing yourself out of a victory if you keep it up.
I get you. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, based upon the legal argument and the deeds presented as recorded in the public records of Palm Beach County, the notice was incorrect. They really shouldn't have been assessed with this fine. It's some other entity's issue. So I'm going to reduce it to 0.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next.
Thank you.
14-1996, 839 Hibiscus Drive, Herman Laster, Dale Wers.
Dina. Don't know. Don't go.
Okay. I would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. Are we doing these separately or together? Because the mitigation request cites both numbers.
We can read both of them into the record at the same time if you'd like.
Okay.
Next case is 16-1140, 839 Hibiscus Drive, Herman Laster, Dale Wers.
I'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. What are the amounts of the fines?
In 14-1996, the fine amount is $42,650. And in case 16-1140, the fine amount is $20,125.
All right, Mr. Wertz, tell us why this fine should be reduced.
Well, I kind of inherited this problem. I bought the property when it was, when the fines were already instated. And it was my hopes that if I cleared up all the problems, not only finished, they started an addition. It took them 10 years, and they still weren't done. I've now purchased the property. I've already finished the entire addition, spent about $45,000. I plan to spend another $50,000 totally remodeling the house. Trying to get it up to snuff, maybe one of the best houses in the neighborhood.
Okay. So you purchased this, what, at a foreclosure sale?
I purchased it from the bank.
From the bank. Didn't do a title search, I take it? Or you
Well,
knew there were
they
fines?
told me there was issues with it. And they said if I corrected all the problems, I could probably get a reduction.
Yeah, well, talk to the village next time. The banks just want to get it out of their portfolios.
I
What
did-
is the village's position with regards to these?
I would like to hear a number that he has in mind or some reduced
Yeah,
amount. These are pretty
well-
substantial fines.
We're talking about 62.7. What do you
How much
propose?
are the fines again?
$62,725.
Wow, I'd have to sell the property to pay them.
What number do you have in mind? Because you knew you were going to have to.
Lakeworth reduced them to 0 when I did the same thing. I had
But
100,000 in fines, but I spent 130,000 correcting all the problems. So I was hoping for a reasonable, I've heard 10,000, I've heard numbers like that before.
All
to
right,
other
so that
neighbors.
$10,000 number, what do you say to that?
That's not far off from what we were asking. We were asking in the first case, we would be amenable to reducing to 8916.88. And in the second case, $4,414.88.
All right. God, you make me get out my phone and stuff. What is it? Did you already add it up?
I have not added it up, but I can.
They have someone. We'll both add it up and we'll see what we get. $13,331.76.
Yes, 113176.
And you're saying 10?
I would be real happy. It'd really help me. I'll put the money back into the house. It's
How about we
gonna be a
just-
real nice house when I'm done. Ask
All
any
right.
of the inspectors. We've had 20 inspectors.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce it down to 11,500 between your number and their number. It's a nice, not 62,000 number.
How much time do I get to pay?
You're going to have, I'll give you 60 days probably.
I
Is that
think
enough?
we can have the project done in 60 days, and I can get financing from the bank. I'm doing it all with hard money.
So you
And
need
until I
90.
finish the home, I can't get the bank financing. So
90 days is 311.
Okay, so,
And if you could, Special Magistrate, these are two separate orders, so if you
I
could.
know, I said 11,150, 11,500, no, I said 11,500, right? 11,500, and I will divide that into 8,000 on 14/1996 and 3,500 on 16-1140 by when?
311.
By 311. By 311. Sir.
if I have problems with financing, can I come back and ask for a little, I mean, we're going full
Yes, you
throttle on
can,
this
but
house.
try to get it done so you don't have to ask. That way you don't have to worry about me.
I am, I'm going full throttle on it.
Okay, sir.
All right, thanks.
Next.
Next is top of page 9, 14-1430-1104 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, Ramco. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. We're gonna go out of order, and I forgot. You're for Ramco? Yes. Yeah, you have 5 or 6 of these, so we were gonna take the last 2 on the agenda before.
We got 5 of them.
Yeah, we're gonna take the ones on top of page 10.
Okay.
That's case 18-0092, 10101, and 10109 Southern Boulevard, 10101. She said what?
Wait a minute.
Then, which one are you here for?
The one you just called, 18-0092.
Do you want to take a 2-minute recess, Special Magistrate?
Sure. We're going to take 2. I can go to the restroom. Back on. All right. Out of recess, back to 18-92.
Yeah, and I don't think I read the whole thing in the record. 10101 and 10109 Southern Boulevard, 10101 Southern Boulevard Holdings.
I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. Who are you?
I am Jason Feder. I'm with JBL Asset Management.
Jason, spell your last name.
Feder.
Okay, and you're with the management company?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And what is the amount of this fine?
Excuse me, sir, it's $23,200.
Well, that was motivating. All right. All right, Mr. Feder, why should the fine be reduced?
We respectfully ask that the fine be waived completely. And the reasons are, much like the case before you, we inherited the problem. I think the violation was originally issued on, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. January 19th, 2018. We purchased the property out of, it was bank owned, and we purchased it on 11/30/2018. We knew there were issues. We didn't know the extent of it because it was an accelerated purchase. As soon as we acquired the property, we did an assessment. Which was actually complicated because there are multiple tenants and different tenants had obligations with respect to maintenance, and there were, I think, 3 separate landscapers. We were hoping that we were going to be able to do the come into compliance by ourselves, but after doing an assessment, we realized we were it was above our head. It was very complicated and a big, heavy lift, and so we, maybe a couple of weeks after we had purchased the property, we engaged or contacted, and then a couple of days after engaged a professional landscape engineer who kind of did the assessment and then contacted the village and was in constant contact throughout the process. The long story short, the professional landscape engineer advised that there was no way we could come into compliance with the existing landscape plan, and that we would need to get an amendment based on as-built. There were some requirements that you just couldn't obtain anymore, certain foliage, I guess. And so we prepared that, or our professional engineer prepared it, submitted it, it was approved, and then, shortly thereafter, we came into compliance. I think we spent, let me pull up the general ledger, somewhere around $124,000 to come into compliance. Part of that was, professional fees, landscaping fees, and then, and the rest. And so we then became in compliance, and we respectfully asked that, and think it would be equitable to waive the fees. We're really good owners. We're partners with the community and our tenants. We did everything we could possibly do to come into compliance, and as quickly as did. I know it did take I think almost 10 months, but that was. Because it takes a long time. It took a while to get the amendment, and then engaging with the proper landscapers. We take our property management seriously. We didn't want to just hire anyone off the street, even though it might be the lowest cost provider, because we care that we're running a first-class operation, and that the village sees that.
All right, so no one ever buys property with title searches anymore.
What we did out of it was we knew it. I told
we
you
got
that
a
we
problem. What's the problem? It's not a problem. The bank says. Your attorney says maybe it is a problem. Or did you have one? What was the purchase price on this?
Well, actually, I was hired in August, so after we acquired the property. But if you, I can text and let you know what it was. If you.
No, I'm just it's like
just curious.
People was like, oh well, it's not our fault. All right, what's the village say?
So you spoke to landscaping, but what about the other issues on the property and their resolution?
Well,
there was much more than just the landscaping, right? So if the landscaping was what was delayed.
Were the other issues delayed on our part, or were they corrected before we purchased the property? I think everything that could be, as I understand it, everything that could be remedied was remedied as quickly as possible. The only outstanding issue that we're aware of was the was the landscaping and coming into compliance, which was, as we understand, impossible to do without an amendment. And that amendment was done in, I mean, we complied like within a month after the amendment was done.
Okay. All right, and the village's position is?
We would be amenable to reduction, although, again, buying the problem is a difficult argument.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you know.
Well, but I agree, but the equity here is, part of the fine is meant to penalize the person who caused the problem in some respects.
The fine is meant to motivate people to fix the problem, and it took, that motivation to get this thing done.
And
If you spend 100 Gs on the repair,
24,
I'm sure that the purchase price was a little bit more than that.
Yeah, well, we purchased, if, we'll find out if that's something.
According to property appraisers, it was $20 million.
I know.
I don't know.
You're $20 million and you're looking at a $23,000 fine, and you want to waive it because, you're going to make money on it or something?
Well, no, we want to waive it. We
lot.
couldn't have complied without the amendment. It was
Okay, well-
impossible to have complied, and so a large
Right.
portion of those fees were accrued that you couldn't comply with. And we were doing, much of it along the way, and I think, Linda, we were in touch with you throughout the entire process. I think you could attest to that.
Yes, I went out to the property quite a bit. So I kept getting called out to the property and meeting with landscapers multiple times. I spent a lot of time out walking that property, pointing out all the deficiencies.
And we.
All right.
Yes, over and over and over.
So they're not your property managers either. They shouldn't be out there talking to landscapers unless they have to. All right, so village, what?
Does he have a number in mind?
He's zero. So, ain't gonna be zero. So go ahead. What do you want?
We typically oppose these reductions, particularly violations of this sort that persist for more than a year on property. We'll reduce this one, we'll agree to reduce this one down to $5,037.08. Payable within 30 days is $113.
Granted, or ordered, 5037.08. The only reason you're getting that is that's because they're suggesting that number.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we, what's the process? Do we get
You'll get an order in the mail, and you can pay it once you receive the order.
Got it. It was $5,037.08?
Yes.
Thank you.
Correct. Next is 15-0211, 175 Bob White Road, Marie L. Stevens. Yes.
Just need to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order, finding violation, verification ownership.
Okay.
Oh, order mitigating fine, I'm sorry.
Okay, we
Can't
have an
be
order
final.
mitigating fine. I did this before, I take it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so August. It was hot then. All right, sir, you are?
My name is Carl Stevens. I'm the son of the previous owner who passed away.
Okay, I had reduced this fine from 33 to 7,000. What happened?
Well, we're in the process of selling the property, and we have a contract, and we need an extension so we can finalize the deal. We have a court date set up because my brothers and I inherited the property and was selling it. And my brothers have court dates set up to vacate some judgment they have of some past child support judgments that's being, I guess, thrown out or vacated. But the judge has to set it, and we need some time for the court date for them to get the order in so we can sell the property. We do have a owner that's, not an owner, a buyer that's interested in the property. So instead of waiting for, like those other people, you bought the property without, and then came to get the fine, we just trying to get it done now and get excuse me, my vote, to get a extension so we can take care of selling the property.
All right, so they just one more time.
We'll agree to extend it to 111, payment by 111.
Will that do? 111, when's your
Could
closing?
Well, like I said, I don't know how fast the court's gonna move, maybe an extra 30 days so we can just be on the safe side.
That's an additional month, and we
I know, it's an
typically,
additional month, but this is a probate situation. It's not one of
or
these deals.
foreclosure situation.
It's a
It's
probate.
not the foreclosure part, it's, the foreclosure, the banks, we already talked, the attorney said if we sell it, then that's it, we already have a contract with people, they're not worried about that, because they'll make their money. We're just trying to get the court to everything settled so we can sell it. We're just waiting for the courts to give us a court date so we can get the final order.
I thought when you were in the office, you had a buyer.
No, we do have a
And you were
buyer.
ready to close the property, and this was holding it all up.
This is holding it, this, and also, like I said, not me, my brothers came in the office.
Okay.
He has the child support thing that's being taken care of, and yes, he's waiting on a court date so he can vacate that, those payments in arrears. And that's it.
All right, 2/1/20. Give you till February 1st.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're back to,
Now we're back to page 9, which is
correct, top
the
of page
Ramco
9.
Crossroads Show. All
14.
5 cases.
14-1430, 1104 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, Ramco Crossroads at Royal Palm.
You'll get an order in the mail. Okay.
You read the first case?
Yep.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. All right. Are you Deidre Middleton?
Yes, sir, I am.
What is your position with the property?
I'm the general manager, so I am the property's representative, the owner management company.
All right. All right, and I see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases from 2014 through 2017, which I'm sure has run up $1 or $2. And
Yeah, the fine amount in 14-1430 is $20,050.
so, why should these fines be reduced?
Well, first of all, I want to say they're all prior me. We've had some manager changes in the last few years for the portfolio. I've had the portfolio probably for almost 2 years. I'm here every month. I'm doing inspections. There's been new vendors put in place. The vendors are there at least 2 or 3 times a week, and our goal is to have Class A properties. I don't know what it looked like when, prior to me, but I know what it looks like now. There are some landscaping issues, that one of these things that addressed, and there still are some. I know that I need to make some changes in compliance, and I've talked to Linda about what I need to do to move forward on that in 2020 and 2021. In 2014, we did make a landscaping, the violation date was 9/4/14. And we signed a new landscaping company contractor, and that's still the current company right now on 9/1. One of the things they did in September 2014, and we do it annually, is we trim the trees. We signed a contract on 5/31/14. We spent $111,485 in landscaping upgrades. And the project was finished. Again, I wasn't here. All I could do is do the research. I know the final payment for that project was in 12/2014. And I still have some money that I know that we need to work on some stuff. There's some things, because of the 7-Eleven that's coming in, I want to be careful where I'm replacing landscaping, but I know that it needs to come into compliance. Then the other one is broken island curbs and no grass. The violation date again was on 9/14. We did some curb repairs. It was around $4,000. in September. But we're a publicly traded company, so anything over a $10,000 contract, we have a process that we have to go through as far as getting our 3 bids and it going through the approval process. So a contract was signed for, they installed some new curbing around the islands, car stops, to bring the property into compliance. They spent $122,775 on the curb and island replacements. And that's one thing that I watched closely on those curbs, because when you get the trees and stuff in those curbs, you know, the roots grow and that causes safety issues and stuff like that. So I've also done some work in 2019, so that is something when I'm here monthly that I watch for. The final payment was that in May of 2016. Again, I can't tell you when the project was completed. I can just tell you when the payment was done, so time frame the contract was signed. The other one was the asphalt. There apparently was some potholes and in the rear of the center. Again, violation was 914. On 9/24, we signed a seal and stripe contract for $75,000. The permit was pulled on 11/7 from what I found out. They did a change order, so not only did we do the seal and stripe, because of city violations, they did an overlay and patching throughout the rear of the center. It was around 5,400 square feet. That was another $14,800.
Why did no one ever call to say we fixed it?
I wasn't here.
I understand that, but you know, you're taking over from someone in your same company.
Oh, why am I just coming to this now?
No, I'm saying, why did no one, if they're spending $100,000 on this and $100,000 on that, ever say, by the way, I'm proud, look at my stuff. I'm a guy. You know, I mow the grass, I make my wife look at it. You know, it's, you know.
We're dealing with case 141430.
Yeah, it is.
Big call. I went out, I found it to be in compliance on 12/4/2016.
Okay, so you complied it, and it still ran up a $20,000 fine. You know, that's the one, and that's just number one. And all I hear now is we fix some of it, and if you call, they comply it, and it stops the fines.
Again, that was prior me.
But prior you is still the same company, right?
Correct.
It was just some other project manager who let this fall.
Correct.
And you're throwing the other project manager under the bus properly, but it's still the same company. It's not even like the ownership changed, right?
Correct.
So, you know, it's, all right. So the 2014 case was complied in 2016, resulting in a $20,000 fine. And what do you want it reduced to, and what is the village's position? What do you want that reduced to?
Well, of course, I would love to have it waived, but
Ain't gonna happen. What do you want?
I know. I don't know. I'm.
All right, what is the village's?
We're opposing reduction in this case, just given the magnitude and given the length of time that it took to comply.
Are you gonna oppose all of them? Is that gonna be?
No.
Just this one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, do we want to deal
Some of
these?
these were done in 2014.
It doesn't, it doesn't matter. Someone's got to call and say inspect. I mean, unless someone's just out there for some serendipitous thing and go, oh, I kind of remember this is in violation. Now it's fixed. You know, you don't want to rely on that. That's not a good business practice. Someone's not doing their Excel spreadsheet right. No one's paying attention to this stuff.
So 12 of 2006, 12/4/16 is when it came in?
2/4/16.
2/4/16.
February 4.
Okay, so this one's opposed.
So the fine stays?
I haven't done anything yet. I'm going to go on to the next few and see what happens, and we're going to then I'll start reading numbers out. Next.
Then let's go ahead and read them all into the record. Next is 15-1281, 1172 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, Ramco Crossroads at Royal Palm.
Right, and the amount of the fine is?
$1,500, and Linda's gonna get her documents on the record.
Okay. That one's not horrible.
Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit, for all of these, it's
Okay.
Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2 is the order assessing fine. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership, and Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay, so And when's the affidavit of compliance and mailing?
9/8/15.
So, as of the 7th of September 2015, so yeah, when they call, they stop them. All right, what do we have next?
Next case is 15-1282, 1172 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, Ramco Crossroads at Royal Palm.
Okay,
Fine amount's $27,775.
okay,
Next is 15-1283, 1172 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, Ramco Crossroads at Royal Palm.
okay,
Fine amount there is $500. Next is 17-0277 Crossroads Plaza, Ramco Crossroads at Royal Palm.
okay.
Fine amount on that case is $675.
Okay, so we have 2 real ones and 3 small ones.
I'm sorry, the 15182, what did you have the fine violation at? The dollar amount?
27,775.
Okay, that's right, yes.
Okay. All right. All right, on 14/14/30, you're opposing, correct?
Correct.
On 15/12/81, small fine. What was your position?
Yeah, it's roughly $662.11 we would be amenable to reducing to.
Okay.
I'm sorry, which one is that, 151281?
Yes, ma'am.
15/12/81. Next one,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the dollar amount.
662.11, and that's just their suggestion right now, so.
Okay.
And 15/12/82.
$5,917.11.
5,900.
17.11.
Okay.
1283. That one, the fine amount, we would essentially oppose. We could.
Yeah, that's just the
Plus, we still have additional costs to release liens, so.
Yeah,
the fine
that's
amount is
another thing, and
still
that's just the $500 for the lack of a business tax, okay.
correct. And 0277, we would reduce to 504.16.
Okay, and then the real problem is the 14/1430, which just was the big one, I guess, or one of the bigger ones in terms of number of problems, total number of items and things of that nature.
Well, the 2 of them are fairly significant fines.
Oh, the other one is new tenant inspection that just ran forever. All right, on 14/1430, I'm going to deny the request for reduction. On 15/1281, I will grant the $662.11 by.
The 30-day date is 1/13/20.
Is 30 days doable in your corporate life?
Could you give me 45?
60 is 2/11/20.
2/11/20.
Because, Linda, if you could, because what happens is we have our property appraiser address goes to a P.O. box for all our properties, and there's a delay in getting them. So if you can go ahead and mail them, because I understand that you need to do that, but if I could get an email copy, then I can process them a lot faster, because again, we do have a.
Okay. All right, case number 15/1282, I'm reducing the 27,775 to 5,917.11, 5917.11 by 211.
Sorry, you said 15/1282, you're reducing it to what?
5917.11.
Okay.
In 15/1283, I'm denying. That's $500. That's a one-time fee, really. And on 17/0277, I'll reduce it to the 504.16 by 211.
Okay, so the 1430 you're denying is going to be the 20,000, right?
Yeah, the 20,050. Everything else is granted except for the $500 one, which is 15/283. That's another denial. 2 denials, 3 grants. And Linda has your information, so she can send you email copies?
I do, yes.
Got it. Okay. So ordered.
Thank you. Now we're moving back to, we have somebody who showed up, I guess, after sign-in. Back to page 5.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, did we talk about 170227 on the list or no?
170227,
Yes, it's at the
675 reduced to 504.16.
I'm sorry, say that again, 504?
.16.
Do we know if that was exclusively yours? Because several tenants, it looks like from what I researched, got notices, but it looks like they're the only ones that weren't in compliance and that the fine was assessed to.
It's,
There's no way of getting documentation of that, because I want to try to build the tenant back to that, since we did notify them.
is that something you two need to talk about later?
I'd like to.
Okay, yeah, that'd be nice, because these numbers went by me pretty fast. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, guys, thank you.
Now we're moving back to
Page 5.
page 5, second from the bottom, case 19-1606, 119 Belmont Drive, Deutsche Bank National Trust Co. Trust, and this is a violation hearing.
The code sections are 1557 and 740. The high grass and weeds and the canal bank is not maintained to the water's edge. I observed this violation on 11/7/19, mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified and posted on the property. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
Okay. You do not look like a Deutsche or a bank. What is your name, please?
I am not, but I do represent Deutsche Bank. My name is Cheryl Lister, Lister.
CH?
Cheryl.
All right, are you a property manager? Are you an attorney?
I am an attorney.
Okay, Esk. Cheryl Lister, Esk. Cool.
I was asking if she was sworn in.
Oh, yeah, we need to swear in, I think.
Could you raise your right hand, say I do when you're done? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
She does.
Thank you. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of hearing and the notice of violation.
Okay.
Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership.
Mhm.
And Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violation.
Yes.
Any objection to the document?
No objection.
All right, you haven't deeded this property away?
Problem?
Said you haven't deeded this one away?
Not yet, not yet, and we've had a lot of issues with this property, and so far, we've been able to bring everything into compliance before I had to come down here, but this time we didn't quite make it. We've had a change in servicers, and they've been out there, they've mowed twice. I got notice this morning that they had gone out and they had corrected it and fixed it, and I called, and Gail was good enough to run out there and check, and they didn't do it right again. They've mowed, they just can't seem to get down to the water line. She was kind enough to send me photographs. I've already sent them to our vendor and said, get another contractor out there right away, do it as soon as you can. It will be fixed, but if you could give us 2 weeks, it would be much appreciated.
That, aren't you?
We actually were asking for just about a little bit more than that, but just about that. Compliance by 12/26, or the 1/8 fine assessment hearing, or $25 a day fine.
1226, is that enough?
Yes, I will get it done.
Good. You need to give Gail a card so she can send
Sure,
you a
I
copy.
have
She has
her
it?
email, we've been emailing.
We've
Good,
forth.
good. That way you'll get a copy of the order while the regular one goes out
Yes.
to wherever Deutsche sends these things to.
Yes, I need to be able to threaten some people, so I appreciate
It
it.
was a good second-year class,
Sorry you
threatening
had to wait.
people.
Not how I thought I would end up my legal career, but
Hey, there are worse things to do. I get to do a divorce hearing next week. I know. Third one in 30 years. I know, it's like, I watched them today. All these people, they just don't look happy at court.
no, they're not.
They aren't.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay, now we're moving.
Rock through them.
Yep, fine assessment hearings 19-0293, 104 Granada Street, Barris A. and Marjorie L. Reed.
All right, well, I guess I didn't get
I'd
things
like to
done.
enter into evidence the previous order finding violation, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have actual service, he signed for it, what do you want?
This has been out of compliance for 15 days, so we're asking for a fine of $750 and continuing.
$750 plus continuing is granted.
19-1148, 179 Cordova Circle, F.E. Nazareth.
I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, the previous order finding violation, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
Service by posting is valid. What would you like on this?
This has been out of compliance for 13 days, so we're asking for $325 and continuing.
325 plus continuing is granted.
19-1454 or 11700 Okeechobee Boulevard, Village Center Management LLC.
Like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, the previous order finding violation, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
All right, you have an affidavit of service, and those are lovely bricks.
This has been out of compliance for 13 days at $50, so $650 fine and continuing.
$650 plus continuing is granted.
19-1514, 254 Ponce de Leon Street, Progress Residential Borrower 1 LLC.
Like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, the order finding violation and permitting abatement, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, Exhibit 3, Public Works work order.
All right, signed green card equals service. I love Mr. Miller's stamp. All right. I just have to look at the
We're asking for a fine in the amount of $307.46. That covers $80.
307.46.
Correct. It covers $80 for the mowing, labor for the fence repair in the amount of $21.46, plus the village's administrative costs in the amount of $206.
Granted.
19-1189, 205 Dove Circle, Liz Malin and Sergio Morales and Noelio Alvarez.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Excuse me.
Excuse you. Service via posting. I see a trailer still parked there.
This has been out of compliance for 13 days, so $325
$325 plus continuing is granted.
Thank you.
19-1258, 158 Sunflower Circle, Jenna M. Gordon and Justin R. Matitol.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, service via signed green card is valid. Still a wavy fence.
Yep.
Wavy, wavy.
Wavy, wavy.
All right, how much?
It's been out for 13 days, so $325
$325 plus
and continuing.
continuing is granted.
Thank you.
19-1120 is being pulled. 19-1405 is being pulled.
Good, good. Keep pulling them.
Oh, 1405 is being pulled too?
Yeah.
Yes, 19-1613 is being pulled. 19-1712
Which
is.
one's that?
Yeah, where are you?
I'm sorry, did I skip a page?
Yeah, you were down status fine assessments. You're jumping. We're missing. Oh, we got all
Those
those.
people are already here.
I got it. Okay. Audrey, we're on page 4 now.
Page 4, violation hearings, so 19-1702 is pulled as well. Now we're into violation hearings, 19-1347, 108 Segovia Avenue, Michael R. and Mildrey C. Hennig.
Okay. We used to pull a lot more.
Code section is 2657. Description is shed in the setback without a permit. I observed this violation on 9/9/19, got the green card back signed. Like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, picture. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
All right, signed green card equals service, finding of fact?
Yes, sir.
Granted.
19-1436, 318 La Mancha Avenue, Sylvia Williamson.
Code section is 6190A and 124C, drive-in sidewalk are stained and garbage can not screened from view. I observed this violation on 10/2/19, mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, that is notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, picture. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
You're on a roll. Track and confirm as service, finding of fact is granted.
19-1489, 134 Cordoba Circle, Linda J. Farrow.
Code section is 6190A, description is structure stained. I observed this violation on 10/15/19, mailed a notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing.
She's on a
Exhibit
roll.
2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, picture. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Signed green card equals service, finding of fact is granted.
Thank you. 19-1491, 143 Santa Monica Avenue, Zachariah and Julie Pritchard.
Code section is 6190A, description is structure is stained. I observed this violation on 10/15/19, mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and posted it on the property. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, picture. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
4 for 4. Finding of fact is granted.
19-1494, 198 Parkwood Drive, Rex WZ and MA Rodora S. McClung.
Code section is 2657. Description is canopy without a permit. I observed this violation on 10/15/19. Mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back signed but not dated. I'd like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
No affidavit of compliance. That's a weird-looking canopy. You have a signed green card. What would you like?
Compliance by January 30th or the February 12th fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
130, 212, 25. Granted.
19-1501, 150 La Mancha Avenue, Barat and Patricia Rampersad.
The code section is 622-108.4 and 6190A, drive and sidewalk stained, and concrete was done without a permit. I observed this violation on 10/17/19, mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back signed but not dated. I'd like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
Signed green card equals service. What would you like?
This one, code section 06190A, which is the drive and sidewalk stained, is a finding of fact.
Okay.
For the other section, we would ask for compliance by 130 or the 212 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
19-1533 Indian Trail
HOA, another one of those.
Drive, Indian Trails, Homeowners Association.
Code section is 740, 58, and 15132, canal bank not maintained and prohibited vegetation. I observed this violation on 10/24/19, mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got actual service. I'd like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
Some good wild stuff. There's an affidavit of compliance in here.
Oh, yeah.
It's a finding of fact.
Finding of fact is granted. Too bad they didn't go on the other page. That would have been a roll.
19-1556, 246 Ponce de Leon Street, Melissa Lee and Sean Carey Arno.
Code section is 6190AH. Drive and sidewalk are stained and shutters are closed. Paper's all stuck together.
I'm glad. My shutters are down and I pressure cleaned last month. Actually, I think I did it this
I
month.
observed this violation on 10/31/19, mailed a notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and posted on the property. I'd like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
All right, you have service via posting. What would you like?
Compliance by 130 or the 212 fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
19-1573, 308 La Mancha Avenue, SRP SUB LLC.
Code section is 2318B2 and 2317. Restricted trailer not parked to code and parking over the sidewalk. I observed this violation on 11/4/19, mailed a notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back. I'd like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
You've got a ghost signature there. Okay, what do we have here? What am I looking for? Oh, restricted trailer and, there we go. Too big, I assume. All right. Sorry. I'm not cooperating with you. What would you like?
We're asking for compliance by 12/26 or the 1/8 fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
(19-1605) 194 Robeo Street, Joseph O'Neill.
This is what I want to see. I want to see the boat sunk.
Code section is 144A, 6190H, and 124C. Disabled derelict boat sunk in the canal. Shutters are closed and garbage can not screened from view. I observed this violation on 11/7/19, mailed a notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and posted it on the property. I'd like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
My boat sunk worse than that bass boat did. Finding of fact? Granted.
Yes, sir. 19-1414 802 Hibiscus Drive, Quinton Youngberg.
Code
But this is
section
very rustic.
1540, 98, 06190, A1, 3, and 5, 124C, 142, tree branches are hanging over the sidewalk, hedges are over 4 feet, sidewalk and driveway are stained, garbage can in public view, miscellaneous items. I observed this on 9/29/19. It was mailed out, certified mail 9/30/19 with the notice of violation and the notice of hearing. I have actual service. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Okay. Actual service is service. Let me look at the pics. Actually, he's not horrible. I mean, I expected worse. I expected total jungle. It's just not really maintained code. What would you like on this one?
Compliance by 130 or the 212 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1415, 826 Hibiscus Drive, CAH 2017, 2 Borrower LLC.
Code section 98, hedges are over 4 feet. I observed this on 9/29/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 9/30/19 and were signed for on 10/3/19. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Signed green card equals service. Yeah, it's kind of hedgy.
We're asking for compliance by 1226 or the 1/8 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
19-1440, 424 Rainbow Springs Terrace, FYR SFR Borrower LLC.
Code section is 06190A13 and 124C, driveway stain and garbage can in public view. I observed this on 10/3/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 10/3/19 and were signed for on 10/15/19. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Slightly out of order, but everything's there.
I'm sorry.
Finding of fact.
Finding of fact is granted.
Thank you.
19-1446, 215 River Bluff
Lane.
Lane, IH5 Property, Florida LP.
Stuck there for a second. Rubber
Code
bluff.
section
River bluff.
124C, garbage can in public view. I observed this on 10/3/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 10/3/19 and were signed for on 10/5/19. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
So there's some sort of Bluff City law. They have Jimmy Smits in it from LA Law.
Like I said.
It's like, I can't watch law shows anymore. I like Susan Day, that's why I watched LA Law, but, okay, finding facts granted.
Thank you.
19-1448, 225 River Bluff Lane, Anthony L. and Deshaun M. Woods.
Code section 124C, garbage can in public view. I observed this on 10/3/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 10/3/19 and were signed for on 10/5/19. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
Where's River Bluff Road? Just generally?
In Nautica Lakes.
Okay, I'm
Seminole.
like-
I mean Seminole, I'm sorry.
So-
Yeah,
Okay, I
Seminole.
was like, that's a road I've never heard of, and we got two. Okay, signed green card equals service. What would you like?
We're asking for compliance by 1226 or the 1/8 fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted, you should be able to move garbage cans.
19-1485, 101 Hemingway Court, Progress Residential, 2015, 3 Borrower LLC.
Code section 2657, place set installed without a permit. I observed this on 10/15/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 10/15/19, and I posted. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
I see the little top of the canvas thing. What would you like?
Compliance by 130 or the 212 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
19-1498 is being pulled, 19-1531, 106 Hemingway Court, McCormick Residential Trust, and Benoit Malou Trust.
You
Code
pronounced
section
that
is-
properly. Congratulations. It's not Benoist.
Code section 06190A1, 3, and 5, driveway and sidewalk are stained. Observed this on 10/24/19. And the notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 10/24/19 and were posted. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have an affidavit of service. The property rears its head again.
We're asking for compliance by 1:30 or the 2:12 fine assessment hearing or a $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1534, 876 Gardenia Drive, Ellen M. and Howard J. Burke.
Code Section 6191, 06190H. The pole is not maintained, storm shutters and boards are up. I observed this on 10/24/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 10/24/19. I have actual service. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
Oh, my goodness. That's real swampish.
Yeah.
All right, actual services, service, what would you like?
Code section 06190H, which is the storm shutters over the windows, is a finding of fact. For the other code section, we're asking for compliance by 1:30.
Yeah, yes.
They're gonna have to pour a lot of bleach in that one.
1:30 or the 2:12 fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine.
That's some dark, dark water.
Thank you.
Next, please, page 7 top.
19-1398, 175 Sunflower Circle, Scott and Kathleen Stiles.
Code sections 1557 and 06190D, high grass and planet areas not maintained. I observed this violation on 9/25/19, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 9/26/19, and posted it to the property. I'd like to enter this following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, picture.
Service via posting, some people just don't need planning areas.
We're asking for compliance by 1:30 or the 2:12 fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1426, 127 Dove Circle, SWH 2017, 1 borrower LP.
Code section 06190A1, 5, and D, sidewalk is stained and planning area is not maintained. I observed this violation on 10/1/19, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 10/1/19. They signed for it on 10/4/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Yeah, they don't need planning areas when they're doing these. 1:30, 2:12.
No, sorry, sir. Your compliance by 12/26 or the
12/26.
1/8 fine hearing or $25 a day
Yeah.
fine.
Granted.
19-1432, 117 Finch Court, Willie J. Lewis Jr.
Code section 942, the fence is in disrepair. I observed this violation on 10/1/19, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 10/2/19. I received it back on 10/7/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
You have a signed green card. I like the way the neighbors are propping stuff up to keep it propped up.
Yeah.
Not. All right, what would you like on this one?
Compliance by
1:30.
1:30 or the 2:12 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1438, 10274 Okeechobee Boulevard, Boulder Venture Employees 1.
Code section 2041, signs in the parking lot are prohibited. I observed this violation on 10/2/19, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 10/3/19. They signed for it on 10/8/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, picture.
Oh, different 7-Eleven case.
We're
You
asking
have service via signed green card. What would you like?
compliance by 12/26 or the 1/8 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1442, 10641 Aquarius Lane, Giselle A. and Kenneth Nunez.
Code section is 2318B, parking on the backyard. I observed this violation on 10/3/19, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 10/3/19. They signed for it on 10/6/19. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Finding of fact is granted.
Thank you.
19-1515, 243 Sandpaper Avenue, Christopher and Brittany Sands.
Code sections 942 and 06135, fence in disrepair, house numbers not posted. I observed this violation on 10/22/19, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 10/23/19, and received it on 10/28/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
It looks worse next to a new fence. Signed green card equals service. What would you like?
Code section 06135, which is the house numbers not posted, is a finding of fact. For the remaining section, compliance by 1:30 or the 2:12 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1518, 123 Eider Court, Victor and Sweetland Manor.
Code section
Manor
0.
Hurrian?
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Code section 06190A13, the sidewalk is stained. I observed this violation on 10/22/19, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 10/23/19. They signed for it on 10/29/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, service via signed green card. Yeah, you see all those ants starting to do this stuff. It's that time of year again.
And just a correction, the code section's 06, not 09 dash.
06190A?
Yes, sir.
That's just upside down.
We're asking for compliance by 1:30 or the 2:12 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1526, 10707 Summertime Lane, HPA borrower 2016 1 LLC.
Code section 06190A1 and 14.2. The structure is stained and wood is on the side of the home. I observed this violation on 10/23/19. Sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 10/24/19. Received it on 11/1/19. Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, those are probably the storm shutters, and that's probably the north side of the house, because that's where the mold grows. Signed green card
Actually,
equals
the
service.
east side of the
East?
house.
Wow, that's different.
Yeah, and that was on the window for a storm shutter.
Okay, what would you like?
Compliance by 12/26 or the 1/8 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1590 100 Moorgate Circle, Katrina M. Martinez.
Code sections 942, the fence is in disrepair, it's tilting and leaning. Observed this violation on 11/6/19, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 11/6/19, and I don't have it wrote down when I got it back. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
I know someone who lived on that street. They called it Mortgage Circle. Signed green card equals service. What would you like?
Compliance by 1:30 or the 2:12 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1584 330 Business Parkway, SROA 330 Business FL LLC.
What? 330 business.
Oh, okay. I have service.
Yeah, no, that's no service.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Pulled.
I thought-
19-1584 is being pulled. 19-1678 Southern Boulevard Villas, Southern Boulevard Villas LLC. It should be on the agenda.
The code section is 1557, the description, grass and weeds exceed maximum height allowed. I observed this violation on 9/19. I sent certified mail on 11/19, I'm sorry, and it was signed for on 11/21/2019. I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, just tell me where the weeds and grass are overgrown. I see it right on the edge of
Yeah,
the
the
curbing.
whole thing was really high, but you can see on the edge that
Right
they,
on
it's
the
a
edge of
finding
the-
of fact now. They
Oh,
they
okay.
came back through and cut it,
Cut it again.
but you can see that it was around the.
Yeah, you can see the edges by the curb, and then the edge way off to the other side was a little mess. Finding of fact is granted. You gotta do,
Your rescinding order, page 10, 19-0940 10303 Pippin Lane, Ibrahim Zaru Trust. We're asking,
Granted.
we don't have the order, but we're asking to rescind the order assessing fine and amend the order finding violation to remove the 06190A15 code section.
granted.
Thank you. Then the addendum is a violation hearing, 19-1450 123 South State Road 7, Real Sub LLC.
Code section 622 108.4, description work done without
They're pretty bollards. They're shiny.
permit. The violation was mailed certified mail 10/4/2019, signed for on 10/8/2019. I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
And like I said, they're beautiful shiny bollards, but I love this guy's signed green card. And someone has a date stamp there too. This guy's a pro. All right, what do you like?
Compliance by 1:30 or the 2:12 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted. Please let the record reflect that the magistrate actually did sign the November minutes as reflected in the agenda here. Anything further?
No, sir.
We are adjourned.